of the day, like whatever.
The tilt is real. The tilt is real. This is when the tilt is real.
Welcome to another episode of The Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Coming to you live from the chef's table, here are your hosts, James Crease and Juan Pena. Let's go.
Good morning and happy Sunday. It is October 25th, and we are live here on StreamYard for Week 7, the Sunday Tilt. As always, with me, my co-host and brother-in-arms when it comes to fantasy football, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Chef, I'm doing fantastic. Any day we get to talk about fantasy football is a great day, but there's nothing like the Sunday morning tilt. Man.
Oh, dude, the Sunday Tilt is the best, the absolute best.
Yes, sir.
We always have a lot of fun, great insight, going over all the games, and we're here to win people their leagues, and that's the main thing. Like,
this is what we do it for. Chef, one of my leagues, I'm 1-5, and you might find yourself out there, listeners. You might find yourself out there in that situation where you're 1-5 and you're starting to want to hit the panic button and you don't know who to start. Like, this is the time to come to us. Yeah, right, Chef? You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes, hey, 2020 is real, and 2020 has hit us in a bunch of different ways, and you've been lucky so far if you've survived, without any kind of negative impact from this season. You know what I mean? And if your lineups are still intact, good for you. If they're not and you need some help, that's why we're here.
That's exactly right, Juan. That is exactly right. We're here to help you guys win your leagues. We will be answering all your tilt questions. If you have a roster question, if you have an injury question, feel free to ask. All right. We've been studying all week just to help you out. We don't make money on this. We're doing this because we love this. There's a pure passion of this. So without further ado, let's get right into the Sunday lineup, man.
Jump on in, man. We got some great games on the slate today.
Awesome games. And just for those of you that don't know this, the Colts, Dolphins, Vikings, and Ravens are on a bye this week. So if you have any of those players in your starting rosters, take them out.
Yeah.
And you better be looking at this show right now and listening to this show, because you're going to want to know who to put in their places.
Absolutely. There's some great options out there too, Chef. Like, there's a lot of guys that people aren't thinking about that we're going to be able to talk about today.
Absolutely. All right. So our first game that we're going to be talking about is the Lions versus the Falcons. It's a 1:00 game. Atlanta is favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 54.5. Only key injury in this game is the cornerback Desmond Trufant for the Lions.
Yep.
So that should be a good thing for Matt Ryan.
And Calvin Ridley.
And Calvin Ridley.
Russell Gage, yeah. All of them. The whole receiving core, it helps whoever was going to line up against Trufant. Anytime you have a replacement level player coming in, it usually spells for success.
Well, Trufant normally plays on, I believe, the right side where Calvin Ridley lives.
Right.
But Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, they're going to flip-flop in this one. They're going to go back and forth. They're going to take advantage of that bench player coming in to cover Trufant's spot.
Yeah, and it could be the Ricky Okuda who gets one of them, and he's physically gifted and he's really good. But those guys are such good route runners, especially Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, that they can make even a veteran look bad. So I expect this fully to be a shootout, and never disagree with Vegas. If it's 54.5 over under, you can expect some fireworks in that game. And both those quarterbacks can sling it, and the receiving core on both sides are great. This is a fun fantasy game to target, and especially in DFS.
Yeah, in DFS, we both have pieces to this.
Sure. Why not? This is the game you want to do that in, for sure.
All right. So, Todd Gurley, you're playing him with confidence this week. Detroit, 29th against the run, giving up 25 fantasy points a game.
Right.
I mean, Todd Gurley, he's gotten the target, he's gotten the carries like they said they were going to run him out, 15 to 20 carries a game, and he's doing it. And he's what, RB 11 right now?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a surprise. We had him in the teens, like in the low teens, like 13, 14 or so when we started our season off, and we had our preseason rankings because we weren't sure about the volume. But like you said, Chef, if he's been getting at least 15 carries or so in every game, and some games even 20, so yeah, he's definitely getting the usage. And the Lions are porous on defense. You can run on them. You can have success.
Yeah, I'm loving that all the way. Like I took Todd Gurley on a whim, saying, hey, he could do it this season, but he's trucking along, man, just fine.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't get injured.
You got him at value too, Chef. That's what we did is we were smart and we got him at value. Nobody overpaid. Well, you shouldn't have overpaid and gotten him in the second round. You know what I mean? Now he's worth it, sure, but we got him in the fourth, fifth round in different leagues, in the Megala Bowl in different places, and he's proven to be a solid RB2.
Yeah, if this year keeps going the way it's going for Todd Gurley, next year he's going to be a second round draft pick again.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. DeAndre Swift. Let's talk about some DeAndre Swift.
Please.
Because, Juan, he's your guy. I loved Swift coming out of college from Georgia. He crushed it last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it was the Jags, but Atlanta's not much better, if they're even better. So it's a great matchup for Swift, and he's still getting the involvement in the passing game. So even if it's a shootout, he's the receiving back. This is a great game for him. Like, he already had his breakout game. Now put it on wax. Like, let me see you do it again. Prove it. You know what I mean? Show me one more. Because everybody still doesn't believe. And if you look at his projections, they aren't really high. And he's not like on sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't on the screen for a second there. I thought that was some kind of
I got unplugged.
StreamYard.
Sorry about that. We got unplugged.
We were not live right there? I was live. It says it's been going
I'm lagging. Shoot.
You're not lagging anymore.
I'm not?
No, not really. So, yeah, last week they both had 14 carries. So they're splitting the work pretty evenly. And Swift ripped off that long 54-yard run in the middle of the game. So that padded his stats. But I still think this game turns into more of a passing game and it takes Adrian Peterson away. He may steal a touchdown here or there. And like you said, he's going to be the key guy on.
Just keep talking.
All right, so my mic is unmuted.
Now it's doubling up, Chef. There we go.
No, we'll be okay. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty. I don't know why, but yeah, that's what happens sometimes.
I don't know. Maybe, Allie has a vacuum that runs on Wi-Fi upstairs or something. No?
She's bougie, but she's not that bougie. Come on, man.
I don't know. If they had one, she'd get one, I think. So, yeah, I love Swift. The love is real, man. I mean, 116 yards last week, and he found the end zone twice. They used him around the goal line last week and let him jump over the top of the pile, too. So it's a hit or miss as far as those guys with the touchdowns. But the guy I'm most excited about in this game is Kenny G, bro. Kenny G's back.
Yeah, he is back.
He's had a couple good games.
He's got a great matchup this week up against Sheffield. Justin Jefferson burned him for a 49-yard touchdown last week. So if you know that the rookie Justin Jefferson can do that, you know Galladay is going to take advantage of him. And it's the Falcons. Everybody has been able to score long bombs on the Falcons.
Yeah, I was going to say DK got them deep. Like they've been had, and it's a game where it's going to be one of those. And that's why Vegas has it at 54.5.
I'm just afraid that Marvin Jones, this might be one of those crazy sniper Marvin Jones games.
Touchdown game?
Not a 4 touchdown. I don't think he's going to ever have another 4 touchdown game the way he's getting targets.
Yeah.
And what he's doing with those targets when he is targeted. But I think he could probably he could see a touchdown this week, a sneaky one.
It could be a surprise appearance for Marvin Jones. You know who I like though, Chef, as far as scoring for this in this matchup is Hockenson. Man, they love him around the goal line. They'll go out of their way to run a play action and get him open in the flat and find him for a touchdown. So I like for him to be able to score this week, I think.
Yeah, we saw Stafford go after him 3 times consecutively last week inside the 5-yard line to punch it in the end zone. They didn't go to the running back.
Nope.
They went to Hockenson. They went to the running back, I'm sorry, on the first
attempt.
But
then they went back-to-back attempts.
Back-to-back attempts in the red zone for the touchdown to Hockenson. And that's great. That means, going forward that he's going to be looking for Hockenson, that huge Gronk-esque target in the red zone.
Yeah, he's got a nice little matchup against Deion Jones, who was all-world a couple of years ago and hasn't really been great. He was injured last season, and Deion Jones is a great middle linebacker. He wears 45. Watch him on Hockenson or on Swift. It should be a nice little matchup.
Ooh, excuse me. Getting torpedoed early this morning.
Oh, it's going to be a good day. We're just getting started.
For all of you that have never been to the show, it's been going on for quite some time now. And what we'd like to do is ask you what's your tilt for the week? What's your roster construction looking like? Where do you need a person to fill in? Where do you need that player to fill in? Or what are you tilting on? Exactly what you are tilting. What's your tilt for the week?
Right. So you have people right now, let's say you're the Lamar Jackson owner and you needed a quarterback for this week, and then you were playing your waiver wire. Who are the guys that you're choosing between as a last minute ad? Who's the guy that you have 2 other quarterbacks for some reason on your bench and you're deciding between Stafford and Ryan, and you want to know which one you should play or which one you should start, which I think I like Stafford in this one. I know the numbers say Matt Ryan, but I think I like Stafford.
We're on the other side of the ball here. I'm going with Matt Ryan.
The numbers say that too.
With him getting Julio Jones back and Julio Jones practicing in full, not having any problems. I think he took one day off. I think he took Wednesday off.
Right. Well, he always does, yeah.
But that's a veteran day.
Right.
So he takes Wednesday off.
OG day.
Yeah, the OG day.
I like the OG Wednesday.
I like that. OG Wednesday, off day.
Yeah.
Hang out in your hoodie and just watch.
Yeah.
But
stretch.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan has all his weapons back. We saw that last week. Whether or not they win the game is another question.
Yeah.
But I think both quarterbacks are great either way. And if you're tilting between Matt Ryan and Matthew Stafford, you're in a pretty good place.
Yeah, that's a good place to be today.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pick them apart for 1 second, you want to pick Matt Ryan and Matthew Stafford, the Matthew brothers of Matthew.
Right. One doesn't like to be called Matthew. The other one doesn't like to be called Matt.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
So Matty Ice against
Matthew.
Matty Brat. Up against Atlanta's defense, yes, you're right. It's probably Matthew Stafford.
That's what
and I'm not mad at it.
No, that's what I like is the matchup. You know what I mean? Like you said, Sheffield, or like that prospect of a long touchdown. Like you said, Marvin Jones. Like those little freak plays happen against Atlanta, and they seem to happen more often to them than it does to a lot of other teams. And I just feel like that could happen today, and he could break out and have one of those. They could have one of those old school quarterback rivalry, like 400 yards each, tit for tat, toe to toe at the end of the game kind of shootouts. Like it could be one of those in a dome, like in good conditions on a fast track. I like this game. I'm going to be tuned into this one pretty heavy, Chef.
Oh, yeah. We're going to put it on the big screen?
Yeah. That's on
hang out after the show and put it on the big screen?
I think that's on the big screen today.
I like it. All right. Anything else going forward for this game?
Nah, but I'm gonna take the Atlanta Falcons.
You're taking the Falcons?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Falcons.
I think I took the Falcons as well.
Yeah.
Not with the points.
No. Close game. I can't call
Close
this
game.
one. I can't call this one.
Yeah, no.
Anyone who tells you they can call this game is lying to you. Like you can't call this one.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. It really is. All right, moving right along. The Cleveland Browns versus the Ohio Cincinnati Bengals, 1 p.m. And I say Ohio because I still think it's the Bengals state. It's not the Browns state, even though they have a better record.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the Joe Burrow takeover was real.
Oh, yeah, he's the real deal.
Yeah, and everybody in Ohio, just whoever was a Mayfield fan, whoever was a Baker fan, even the Cleveland guy, except for Cleveland, maybe that one small city of Cleveland.
I think there's already a little pocket of Cleveland that wants Trevor. Like, seriously.
Trey Law.
They want Trevor, yeah, man. They're over Baker, a lot of people already. I've been hearing that from different places, like on Dan Lebertard show, there's a famous Cleveland fan, Mike Ryan, and it's already kind of like, if my team could get Trevor, I would definitely take Trevor. So he's out on Baker. But this is a great game. We saw this play out already, this game, earlier in the season. This is a rematch of sorts, and that's where we saw Burrow come into his own a little bit.
Yeah, Burrow's great. Oh, let me go through this properly anyway. I'm sorry to cut you off. Cleveland is giving 3.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
The over-under is 50.5. Key injuries are Austin Hooper. He is out with an appendectomy. For those of you that don't know, that means he was almost ready to have appendicitis. So that usually takes at least a week to heal and maybe 2 weeks for him to get back into football form. So keep an eye on that. And then the big miss this week is Joe Mixon, out with the toe injury. He was limited in practice all week, and then I believe Friday they pulled the plug and said, "Yeah, no, we're going to scratch him for this game and let him rest." They don't want to hurt their guy that they just paid.
No, absolutely. He's your bell cow. He's your number one running back. You want to protect him. And that toe thing, Chef, when it starts to lurk, it can keep a guy out for a few weeks and it can linger. So it's better that they give him a little rest and get it right before he comes back. I'm a little surprised by that, though, that the 3.5 point favorites, the Browns, on the road, in Cincinnati. And Cincinnati played them tough last time. Like, that was a closer game than everybody wants to, give Cincinnati credit for.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati was great in that game.
Yeah, I got a sneaky feeling that the Bengals are going to win that game, Chef.
Yeah, I put money on both ways.
Yeah, me too. Hedging your bet.
Some people just go both ways.
Hedge your bet 101.
Yeah, hedge your bet 101. Become a degenerate 102. And, just bet it both ways. That way, whatever happens. But no, I think you're right. I think the Bengals could wind up winning this game. Their defense has been a little suspect to the run.
Yeah, but there's no Chubb. So, I mean, it's all on Kareem Hunt's shoulders.
And Kareem Hunt's been doing a great job as of late. So I don't see that changing too much. And I don't see the Browns going away from what's been working for them.
I think they gashed the Bengals for over 200 in that game last time. I think it was a big Chubb day, if I remember the stats correctly. Like, Chubb went off and Kareem Hunt still had about 70 yards rushing, like 73 yards rushing. So that was the game where they both hit him. So maybe he does have a breakout game and have like over 150 yards, because that's the recipe for success.
And I mean, we pegged James Robinson to have a good game against Cincinnati last week. Was it? Wait.
It was a while back.
No, that was a while back.
Yeah.
He ripped him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it all has to do with that Cleveland defense. If the Cleveland defense can stand firm and let Kareem Hunt run, I think it works.
Yeah. If it doesn't turn into a shootout, you mean?
And if Baker can not turn over the ball,
right?
That's the real question, I guess. I mean, Baker, he's had at least, the guy had 2 interceptions against Pittsburgh, 2 interceptions against Indy. Can he get it right and not have an interception?
Yeah, he's got to play more like he did in the Dallas game, where he was efficient and he handled it. Like, he's not a replacement level quarterback right now. Like, I don't want to start Baker, but you might be in this predicament where you have to. This isn't the worst matchup in the world, at least.
I gave up a first-round draft pick and a RB2 to get out of not having to start Baker every week.
You made a move. You sacrificed something, but you had to do it.
Yeah,
right?
David Montgomery, the sacrificial lamb. All right, so we have a question on our screen. This is coming from YouTube. KZ from YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Please hit subscribe and come back and check us out every time we're live. KZ wants to know James Robinson or Jamaal Williams or Gio Bernard.
Yeah, well, that one's really easy for me. Jamaal Williams, like you saw what Derrick Henry did to the Houston Texans last week, and Green Bay's going to be going up against that team. He was already getting involvement in the passing game, and he's going to be the lead back today. I love A.J. Dillon, and I love the talent, but I think Jamaal Williams has a matchup that you can exploit, and not just in your fantasy lineup, your particular lineup, but in DraftKings, he's only $4,000. So, like, he's a really, really good fill-in for this week.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I saw it on Twitter last night. Gio Bernard is not a must stash anymore. He's a must start. But I still like Jamaal Williams over him in this matchup. Like you said, Houston, they're terrible, man. They're second worst against the run.
Yeah, 31st in the league. Yeah.
31st in the league, giving up 27.6 fantasy points per game. And James Robinson, yes, he's getting all the work, but I downgrade him a little bit as a more of a low-end RB2 than Jamaal Williams with the pass-catching ability and the upside.
Right.
I know A.J. Dillon's going to be stealing some touches here or there, and we saw LaFleur come out and say that he was going to get some work today.
He will, for sure.
And it was a good game for Dillon to get work, but they are going to have to keep throwing the ball, and I think Jamaal Williams, in that sense, stays on the field a lot more.
I think that's the exact key. You hit the nail on the head, Chef, right there, because that game, somehow Deshaun Watson is going to move the ball down the field. And I know they have Jair Alexander back there, but other than him, the secondary hasn't been playing great for the Packers. So the Texans will move the ball and should put up points against the Green Bay defense. So that would lead to a more passing-happy game from the Packers side. And then Jamaal Williams, who already, like I said, was getting passing work. He's been running wheel routes. They've been trying to attack their lack of receivers has made them attack the cover two and beat it with a running back out of the backfield. They've been running a lot of deep shots to running backs, and Jamaal Williams has been the beneficiary, and I think he does so in this game too.
The one thing that you want to think about here with Jamaal Williams, and you have to wait for it, KZ, you have to be able to wait for that game time decision, because Aaron Jones did travel with the team this morning.
Right. Yeah,
he's going to the game.
Right, and they're saying they're going to make it a game-time decision, but the last time that happened, it was Devontae Adams who said and tweeted that he was ready to play, and they still held him out. They didn't have a viable fill-in for Devontae Adams and held him out of that game. They have viable fill-ins for Aaron Jones. I think they err on the side of caution with their young running back, man.
And for those of you that don't know, I've dealt with many injuries in my life, and I've dealt with calf strain before. I used to be a runner, a long-distance runner, and I've dealt with that. And I've torn my calf by doing the most easiest of things, jumping up and giving our producer, Mr. Swanson, a high five after Stephon Diggs caught that miracle in Minnesota or
Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, the Minneapolis Miracle. When he caught that ball, I jumped up, gave Mr. Swanson a high five, and I felt a pop in my calf, and it was over and done with, man.
Right. Well, and a better athlete, Chef, Kevin Durant, had a calf strain, and then he popped his Achilles because of the calf strain, because he went into that game and tried to play. So you want to be cautious with that. And like I said, you have Jamaal Williams to put in. And also, like the James Robinson thing, the Chargers have been sitting out a week, game planning for this game. He struggled last week against Detroit to get.
All right, I don't know what's going on. I'm having some camera difficulties here, so I'm going to unplug my regular. All right. Check.
I don't know what Chef is doing, but he had me muted. I unmuted myself real quick. Say, Drew, diggy.
Hang on 1 second.
All right.
Check. We apologize. All right, I'm a little dark now, but I don't know what's going on. My webcam, it's not sitting up right this time, and we're just gonna keep rolling. Now that I unplugged it, I'm just using my
My camera's looking real good though.
Yeah, man. I'm jealous, man. I need a new laptop. Put it on the Christmas list. So
Indeed.
Drew Simmons wants to know, is Fulgham the real deal?
Drew Diggy, my man. Yes, I believe Fulgham's a real deal, man. Especially for fantasy right now, he is completely fantasy relevant. He has to be in your lineups, and he's been doing work. He didn't get the Bradbury treatment for the whole game because you saw Deshaun Jackson get covered by Bradbury, but for me, for the eyeball test, Fulgham's a real deal. Again, Mike Hilton was the guy he went up against a lot in that Pittsburgh game, so we're still gonna wait and see. And you have Rager coming back, and he's the real deal. Like, when he gets on the field, he's the real deal.
Yeah, I think they're, especially since Deshaun Jackson going out again, and he'll probably be out for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, he's going to be completely fantasy relevant, Fulgham, the rest of the season. Because even with Rager back and Greg Ward, that 3 receiver lineup starting to look pretty good. And then you get Goddard. So there's hope for the Eagles in general. But then Travis Fulgham, he's fantasy relevant the rest of the year. Wide receiver too, probably the rest of the year.
Great question, Drew. Appreciate you. All right. Our favorite listener, it seems like, Sarah Riley, back once again. She wants to know, does she play Noah Fant or Jonnu Smith?
If you got to think that Noah Fant is right now. Like, you got to think that they held him out for that reason last week, and they kept him out of that New England game. And going up against the Chiefs, that game's going to be really pass happy, and you expect him to be able to put up points. Him and Locke together, finally. I don't like that matchup with Jonnu, and I own Jonnu in a lot of leagues. And that Pittsburgh team, man, like, when they want to shut people down, they shut people down. Wide receivers where kind of you can hit them. I don't think Jonnu probably finds the end zone more likely than Fant, but Fant's going to definitely get the usage over Jonnu.
I think Fant being part of this matchup, being back in the fold, Drew Lock really missed him in his first game back last week. I think Fant is the key component to this offense, and it opens up everything. It'll open up Jerry Jeudy this week. It'll open up Tim Patrick a little bit this week, even up against that tough Chiefs defense. They're going to have to throw the ball to keep it moving.
KJ Hamler's back too.
KJ Hamler back in the slot. It's going to be a great thing to watch as well. And with Jonnu, we saw what happened last week. He had the same injury.
Right.
Let's not get it twisted, folks.
Yeah.
He hurt his ankle. He has an ankle injury.
Right. There's no designation, but he is still hurt.
And he was very, very limited in practice. He got in one full practice in on Friday, and then he took a Saturday rest day again.
Right. And it's not like Anthony Firkser didn't do well. He had a monster game last week.
I think Firkser earned himself a couple extra targets, and I think Ryan Tannehill will be comfortable throwing him the ball in place of Jonnu Smith. And I think Jonnu Smith's just his snap share in general may be mid-range this week due to that injury.
Right. The only thing I'm hoping is that he finds the end zone.
And then Sarah wants to know, half-point PPR, need 2, David Johnson, Swift, or Gibson? Ooh, I like this one.
This one's easy for me, too. I'm going with the rookies. And I'm glad Sarah asked this because I can keep telling my story, right? In case somebody out there hasn't heard it yet, because I've been blasting it everywhere. But this is week 7, and Mr. Swanson, I love you, Mr. Swanson. You're not here with us today, but you're here with me always, man, my man. So listen, 2011, a rookie named DeMarco Murray stepped in for an injured Felix Jones, and he had 25 carries for 253 yards and a touchdown, and he broke out, and he became a fantasy mainstay for years to come after that. DeMarco Murray, everybody loved him, and he ended up being a first-round pick every year. I think that Swift or Gibson has a chance to put up a game like that. I like A.J. Dillon maybe to do that too, but like these two guys right here, Swift and Gibson, definitely have an opportunity to have breakout games. David Johnson, I'm afraid of a little bit. His usage is good. He maybe has the best floor out of them, or a better floor than Swift, but I'm going Swift.
So you're going Swift and Gibson
for the upside, baby. That's an upside play.
All right, I'm going David Johnson and Swift.
You're leaving out Gibson against the Dallas D?
Yes. Well,
I just saw Kenyon Drake just came back to life and hit him for $164.
All right, so it's David Johnson and Gibson then. It's David Johnson and Gibson. Like you said, Gibson for the upside against Dallas. Right. He's gonna be carrying the ball, and hopefully he will have that breakout game that we've all been waiting for. But David Johnson, he's got a great matchup going up against the Packers this week, and we saw what Ronald Jones did last week. I would think they are 31st in the league against the running back right now, the Packers.
The Packers aren't doing well. They did get Kenny Clark back, and he played last week, and he still wasn't able to stop Ronald Jones. They just kept feeding him. So maybe David Johnson, like I said, Johnson probably has a better floor than Swift. Like he's going to get you 10, 12, 15 fantasy points pretty safely. But Swift has a boom potential that I can't stay away from.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that Adrian Peterson will have some play in this game, and you want the player that's on the field the most with the most usage.
You're right. Great question though.
That's an awesome one. You got your hands full with that one.
That's a solid team.
If
you got Fant,
they're all very, very close.
Fant, Jonnu, those two rookies, and David Johnson, you probably have a pretty good team.
You probably listened to one of our preseason shows, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah, for checking us out. As always, if you have any other questions, feel free to jump in. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to the Sunday slate, Juan. I love that. I love people coming in and asking questions
all day.
I believe we were on the Bengals-Browns game,
yep.
And I'd like to talk about T. Higgins versus AJ Green just for a second here. Cleveland giving up the most points to the slot receiver this week. And Higgins gets Denzel Ward. Where does that leave AJ Green?
Tyler Boyd season, dude.
It's Tyler Boyd season?
It's Tyler Boyd season. Tyler Boyd's in the slot, and he's going to eat. Yo, you saw Burrow target the tight end 15 times in that game. So there could be that Drew Sample gets a lot of usage game, but I think it's Tyler Boyd season. If Ward is shadowing Higgins, which he likely will be, or I would if they were smart, because I don't know that Green is, who he was.
Right. He's definitely not who he was.
You know what I mean?
Who he used to be anyway.
Right now, the guy that scares you is the guy that was able to exploit the Colts defense over the top, and that was T. Higgins. He was the one that was able to get over the top on Xavier Rhodes. So, yeah, I would put him on that. But that leaves Tyler Boyd alone, man. Like, he can do pretty much whatever he wants. If he got 10 catches today, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he had 10, 12 catches.
I like that.
Yeah, Burrow threw it 61 times, Chef.
Up in the last matchup.
61 times, dude.
I think, why? Why did they throw it so much? They were behind.
They were behind. They got killed on the ground by Chubb, and they were just getting worked. So they were so far behind, you just had to throw the ball. They completely abandoned the run. But now you don't have Mixon. So are you really going to run it with Giovani Bernard 25 times? Probably not. I mean, Travion Williams may get in there and play, but you're not going to run it that many times. You're going to throw the ball.
No, I think Gio Bernard is out there majority of the time, and it's going to be because he needs to catch passes,
right? Or pass block, because Myles Garrett is real.
Yeah.
So you got to get rid of the ball quick. So again, tight end, slot, quick passes, maybe set something up over the top to T. Higgins or AJ Green, but I think it's a heavy dose of Tyler Boyd today.
Yeah, like you said, he targeted the tight end position 15 times last time they played, and the tight ends made out like bandits. 11 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown between the two of them.
And then, unless you're like fantasy nerds like us, you've been screaming Uzama. You got to chant.
Oh man,
you got to chant for Uzama, and we're
talking
about
Zama.
There it is, right? And we talk about Drew Sample,
and we haven't seen the real Sample
not yet
since that game,
right? So this is another chance for him to perform, and a sneaky DraftKings option too.
And I expect there to be at least one turnover on each side of the ball in this one.
Yeah,
it's going to go back and forth, and it really is a toss-up. But I think the Browns, I think the Browns win.
They better for football, like for real football, for a second. But you better be the Bengals.
Not too much going on. Baker has been injured, but he will get the start.
Mama didn't raise no wuss, he said.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Kareem Hunt, definite starter if you have him on your roster. Great flex option on DFS in DK for 6,800. Not bad. I was looking at some lineups that some pro analysts do, and they have Kareem Hunt in their flex somehow for 6,800, which is a smash.
I went real cheap and I was able to get Kamara in my flex, but that's another story for another show.
Yeah, we don't do a DFS show.
Nah. I've been doing all right though.
All right. Jarvis Landry, who was dealing with a rib injury that we did not know about. I guess they kept that under wraps. I know he had hip issues going through for most of the season so far, but rib, man, he says it hurts. It's uncomfortable.
I think it was in the Dallas game that he hurt the rib.
Yeah.
In the Dallas game.
But they're going up against backup cornerbacks on the perimeter. So what's that say for OBJ this week? Can Baker make that connection, or is it Landry throwing him the ball? mean, they both have rib shots. So can we take a rib shot?
Yeah, I like that double rib shot.
Double rib shot.
You know what? Like, this could be one of those games where they do pull out the gadgetry and they do try to go deep, and they find a way to get scheme Odell into having a big game, because it feels like he kind of needs one of those. Like, and he's complaining last week and he took his shoes off and he's all upset. So you got to feed the beast, and this is a great time to feed him. Listen, starting corners, Pro Bowl corners, shutdown guys have problems with Odell Beckham.
Right.
Let's keep that 100% real. Now imagine being a backup corner and having to go in there and deal with Odell. Like, look out. Like, he could have an Odell kind of day.
He might have an Odell kind of day, and Cincinnati is a good team to do it against.
Right. And Cincinnati's going to push them, and they're going to move the ball down the field, and they're going to have success of their own. So it's going to make Stefanski have to call a different type of game and make him have to take a few shots.
And with the news about Austin Hooper being out, who are you trusting more? Harrison Bryant, who's been there, starting to see a little bit more targets, or David Njoku, who just came back and was Baker Mayfield's favorite target to start the season?
I like the talent on both of those guys, and they're both really good. And for that reason is why they're entertaining shopping Njoku. And sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and sometimes the squeaky wheel gets left off. Like, and you just go with Harrison Bryant, because Njoku's been publicly complaining and asking to be traded in recent weeks. So if you have that situation, one of them will definitely get fed, and at some point they're going to have to use the tight end and attack, because they're going to drop back and double team Odell. You're not going to let Odell have that day that I was just talking about. So you're going to try to condense the defense a little bit and watch Odell and double him on one side. So it should leave room for one of the tight ends, or maybe both, because they do run a lot of that 12 personnel.
Yeah, and Cincinnati 24th against the tight end position. I think Njoku has a great game today.
Yeah,
I really think
I don't want to call it between one or the other.
I like Harrison Bryant in the pass. Like, I like him pass blocking
to help
Baker. Right. He's a bigger guy than Njoku. Njoku's fast.
He's
Jersey
athletic.
boy.
Yeah, he's athletic.
Jersey boy.
And
shout out to
and he went
Njoku.
to you.
And I think he can spread the field a little bit better than Harrison Bryant can.
Right.
And he has more experience. So you have to go with the more experienced guy as far as pass catching.
Right. Yeah, definitely in the red zone. He might be the first one to get a look.
So who do you got for this one? You said Bengals?
No, the Browns got to win this game. I just got a sneaky feeling that the Bengals are going to do it to them. I'm serious.
Oh, man, I hope.
But every time I pick the Bengals, I get bungled. So I'm going to pick the Browns.
You get bungled?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Browns.
All right. So we have our next question is from Alligator Feet 11 on YouTube. What's up, Alligator?
Alligator Feet 11.
And he wants to know Darren Fells or Darren Waller.
Wow. You want to hear something crazy? I love that question. Because I'm going to say Darren Fells. I'm going to say Fells. Last week, Gronk had a pretty effective game against Green Bay. And I saw that same Tampa defense, that Tampa defense completely shut down the other side of the ball, the Packers, and I'm scared to death of Devin White and Lavonte David at the moment. I really do think that they can cover sideline to sideline and they can make people go away, and I think they might try to make Waller go away. Like, this could be a really, really quiet game for Waller.
Yeah,
I know he's the bigger name and the bigger star, Chef. I understand that completely, and he should get more points, and I understand that 100%. But what my eyeballs tell me is that Devin White and Lavonte David can be erasers.
Now, see, I'm on the other side of this thing. I don't think Fells had a great matchup last week. He doesn't have a superb matchup like he did last week against the Titans.
Yeah, no, exactly. But Gronk did it to the Packers, and now Fells is facing the Packers. So I'm thinking that Fells can do that 5 for 70 and maybe find the end zone kind of performance, where Waller is completely, to me, gonna underperform his value and his stock and whatever it is. Like, whatever his projection is, go under, unless he finds the end zone, which he wasn't prone to do last year. I just feel like if I'm coaching up against the Raiders, I'm taking away Waller. I know Tanyan was limited last week, but they shut down everybody. Even Devontae Adams had 6 catches for 61 yards. They shut down the entire Packers offense. Tampa Bay did. So I think they do the same thing to the Raiders and kind of completely shut them down, man.
I think it's going to be close when it comes down to it. I would go with Darren Waller just for the simple fact that we know he's going to get targets.
Right.
And he is a focal point of the offense, no matter who's covering him or what they're scheming to try to do to him. They do have Henry Ruggs to stretch the field a little bit.
That's true.
And
He
they're
is back.
and Josh Jacobs to punch the ball where they need to. I think Waller, he has to be the outlet for that team. He is the outlet for Derek Carr. So I'm going Waller on that one.
All right.
But no, man, that's a great question.
Great
Thank
question,
you,
Alligator Feed 11. Dope name, man. Dope
Appreciate
handle.
that. All right. Our next question is from Vision Assault. Should I start Justin Jackson? We'd love to hear who you're starting him over. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind Justin Jackson at all. That's a smash yes for me against the Jaguars.
Yeah. After DeAndre Swift last week and Adrian Peterson had semblances of success, I absolutely like Justin Jackson this week. I'm not sure who we're comparing it to. Like the chef said it, we don't have the context, but on face value, Justin Jackson's a smash play this week.
Well, speaking of that, then we'll go right to our next question from Mini Jordan 718. Good morning, Mini Jordan.
Good morning, Mini Jordan.
Full PPR.
That's 718, chef. That's New York.
718.
Yeah.
All right. Swift or Justin Jackson?
You know, I love Swift, but I'm intrigued by Justin Jackson. The only thing that scares me off of Justin Jackson is Joshua Kelly,
right,
and his involvement. So I got to go with Swift because my gut call is Swift is going to have a monster day. It's
funny you say that because if you're afraid of Kelly taking away Justin Jackson's carries,
right?
Oh, because you're saying they're going to be up,
right?
Okay,
the other ones.
All right, I get it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Swift is in a shootout.
Swift, it'll be in a shootout, right. And he is the pass catching back.
It's like Williams, either way.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong in this one. I would go with Justin Jackson just to say, hey, you know what? I know he's going to get the majority of the work. It's probably if anything a 60-40 split.
At least, yeah, you're right, 60-40 split. But if they're up, it's just I don't know. They could both get work and all that. I just Swift.
And are they really going to trust Joshua Kelly after the fumble issues he's had? We saw Justin Jackson get the majority of the snap share last week, almost all the snap share actually.
Yeah, against the Saints. Yeah, 2 weeks
against
ago.
the Saints,
he was pretty good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm leaning Jackson on that one. I'm loving Swift, and I want to see him do great. But yep, that's what it is for me.
Great tilt though.
That's a great one.
That's how you tilt right there. That's where you're like, who do I put in?
Mini Jordan's doing his thing. He's got a strong team going on today.
Yep.
Alligator feedback. Thanks. Last one. Hill or AJ Brown?
Wow. First world problem right there. I'm going Tyreek. I know Boyer's back for the Broncos. Like he's gonna play, but how healthy is he? And can anybody really stop Tyreek? Like he's been up and down lately. I don't love that matchup for AJ Brown against that Steelers defense. That is where you attack them, is through the air. But Tyreek Hill feels like a boom week.
I agree with you in the fact that Tyreek Hill could have a good game. He can have a good game at anywhere. Yeah, he needs it for fantasy purposes. We all need him to do well.
And for real football, he's due. Like they played that little game against the Bills where they just ran the ball and kept feeding CEH. I feel like this is one of those games. And you know what? It's snowing, I think. I think that game's calling for snow.
It is?
I think that game's calling for snow.
Oh, my.
And if you know where you're going and the defender doesn't know where you're going and you're Tyreek Hill, like that's, a big play is bound to happen in that game. And I think Tyreek Hill's a prime candidate for it.
I think A.J. Brown is going to smash.
Wow, on the Steelers, huh?
On the Steelers.
Okay.
We saw Fulgham tear him up.
Right.
Who else tore up
but that for me feels like if it's Mike Hilton, I think Mike Hilton gets Humphreys or Khalif.
I think Michael Hilton is actually out today.
Oh, so even better. So, but that's still the slot guy. So that's Humphreys or Khalif Raymond. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that's going to be AJ Brown getting that matchup. I think AJ Brown gets Joe Hayden.
I'm trying to find it real fast. I know I wrote it down.
If AJ Brown gets Nelson on the other side, maybe I lean towards AJ Brown. But that Pittsburgh defense in general, with those four guys up front putting pressure, it's going to be a different kind of game, a low-scoring kind of game. And there's a shootout potential in the Hill matchup, that in the Kansas City-Denver matchup, that I really, really like.
Yeah, Mike Hilton is out with a shoulder injury for the day.
Oh, wow.
So I think that helps out A.J. Brown a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to go up against Steven Nelson.
Then there you go. Okay.
And Corey Davis gets Joe Hayden.
Corey Davis gets Hayden?
Yeah,
right.
On the majority.
All right.
On the majority.
Well,
and then Adam Humphries is a smash in this game, too. Don't get it wrong.
Right. That's what
all
I mean.
Three wide receivers
could be
could be the play. But I think with Corey Davis back on the field, it only helps A.J. Brown separate a little bit more, and it's another target for Ryan Tannehill to move around with the play action, especially with the tight end situation with Jonnu Smith being a little banged up.
Yeah. I like that game, by the way. In general, that's a really, really good football game to watch.
And who are we talking about? Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill. I mean, they're going up against Denver. You can't run on Denver. I think it's a Kelsey game. I think it's a Kelsey game.
It might be a Kelsey game, but all you need is a Hill play.
Oh, Hill will get some shots.
That's a great tilt. And like, I mean, damn, like I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I don't have that kind of a tilt, man. If I had both of those guys, I'm firing them both up because you have to. But
the only thing that scares me is if Kansas City does get up on Denver.
Right.
And we saw it happen against Buffalo. I know it rained in that game and they weren't throwing the ball. And then Kansas City usually throws it a lot, did not throw it a lot. And they did more of a run it in the rain kind of game with CEH.
Well, they might run it in the snow, too.
Yeah, they may run it in the snow. You're right. If it's snowing. Either way, inclement weather, they usually run the ball. Tyreek Hill only got 3 targets. He went 3 for 3. But he only got 3 targets. And that's kind of something that I'm trying to stay away from.
You know what happens with receivers, though? They complain and then they get fed. You know what I mean? But I can see A.J. Brown being the safer play. A.J. Brown's the safer play, and Hill's the boom.
So Juan, for those of you that don't know, Juan and I, thank you, Alligator Feed, for your questions, man. Those are great. And Juan, we have them piling up, so we're going to keep going with them.
All right.
For those of you that don't know, Juan and I, we always go back and forth on players most of the time. I am more of the floor guy, and he is more of the boomer bust guy.
Yeah.
And we've gone up against each other in a couple leagues of record, and I'm not going to say who won. I'll let the guests figure it out. We have a lot of. No, I'm not. I'm past champ.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy of a champs this year.
That's
I got the injury bug biting my ankles. But we're going to go right into the next question. Clayton Cranky from YouTube. Thank you for joining in. Please hit subscribe. Start Robert Woods or Ceedee Lamb full PPR.
Wow. Do we know if Robert Woods is going to get the Kyle Fuller treatment?
I can look into that real fast.
Because I think he is. I think that he would get that treatment and he would be lined up on that side. If he is, I'm going to go with Ceedee Lamb against that, Washington secondary. I think Ceedee Lamb finds a way to get open. Again, you saw him and Dalton. Like, Dalton's going to throw it to the tight end. He's going to throw it to the slot. He's not going to try to force the ball down the field too much. I like Ceedee Lamb. Quick passing. The front four in Washington's really good. I think I'll take Ceedee Lamb. I've been kind of fading Robert Woods in general lately anyway, but specifically in this matchup, if he gets the Kyle Fuller treatment, I'm going to go Ceedee Lamb.
I agree. It's Ceedee Lamb. Robert Woods was banged up all week, and he just got cleared to play yesterday. And he may, yes, I know he's going to get in there, but he hasn't gotten a touchdown in a while. Okay, he ran one in the last time
against Buffalo.
Yeah, and I don't think he's worth the start this week. If you have Ceedee Lamb, I put Ceedee Lamb in. He's got a great matchup going up against Washington.
He feels he's starting to feel almost matchup proof. Like, he gives you that nice little floor. Ceedee Lamb does, where like for a while there he had 5 catches and 50 yards minimum in every single game. So yeah, Ceedee Lamb is the real deal in the slot with Andy Dalton there.
All right, he's saying they both play top 3 secondaries. Yeah, but Ceedee Lamb in the slot is different than the secondary. So
everybody,
you have to be careful. And this is something that we should tell people. You have to be careful when your format gives you, they're 27th against the pass or they're 3rd against the pass. That may be because they have good perimeter cornerbacks.
Or great pressure up front.
And they're not allowing them to throw the ball. But sometimes you can slip through and see that in between. You got to read in between the lines. Ceedee Lamb has a great matchup this week up against the corner slot.
Yeah, he's a great matchup against anybody.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna have a front four that puts that much pressure on people, and you have Landon Collins roaming around and helping and stacking the box, like Ceedee Lamb should definitely have opportunities to hit. Like the New York Jets did absolutely nothing last week, but Jamison Crowder ate. So it doesn't matter what happens with the offense. There's certain guys that are just kind of feel matchup proof. Like, if they're in there, you just start them and let them roll. And Ceedee Lamb has become one of those guys this season.
Thank you so much for your question, Clayton. We appreciate it. All right, Vision Assault coming back with another one. You ready for it?
Uh-oh.
Kupp or Giovani Bernard flex spot?
I'm going to go back to that same matchup. If Kyle Fuller is on Robert Woods, I go Cooper Kupp here. But Gio Bernard is going to offer you an opportunity to have so much flex play that it's a really great tilt. And normally, like, you would have sounded crazy if we don't put it in context that Mixon's out, because that right there doesn't equate these two guys. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, I think I would take my chances. I love a Monday night thing, Chef. Like you said, we're boom or bust and all that stuff. I'm always like, I want one last wing and a prayer. Like, if I still have Kupp Monday night, I don't feel dead today. I can't die tonight. You know what I mean? I still got Kupp tomorrow.
I think it's Gio Bernard for me. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We're tilting for you. It's Gio Bernard for me. Cooper Kupp, and I'll make my case. He got 9 targets last week. He only caught 3 balls. That was up against San Francisco.
Right. But Jason Verrett is real, bro. Like, he's back. Like, we
what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do against Chicago? You know,
the Chicago defense is really good, but Kupp being like moved around and being still Goff's favorite target at some point, getting targeted near the red zone, maybe. And if he doesn't have Kyle Fuller,
he's due for a good. I'm sorry to cut you off. He's due for a good a comeback game, but not up against Chicago, man. I can't do it. I'd rather go with Giovani Bernard is going to get the carries. He's going to get pass work.
Right.
I'm going with Gio. I'm going with the mustache of Gio.
The Gio stash.
Gio stash. All right. I hope he helped you out. If D-Hop is out for the game. Oh, let's one more from Vision. If D-Hop is out for the game, is Kirk the move to start? D-Hop is playing. He is confirmed to play.
Right.
Kirk would be the move.
Yeah.
And Kirk is an awesome flex play this week.
Either way.
If you can fit him in your lineup somewhere else, if you have both of them, I could see myself playing both of them up against Seattle this week.
I have shares of Kirk everywhere. Full disclosure, I'm a Christian Kirk truther, and I've always believed that there's always a room for the second guy when there's a primetime wide receiver, for the second guy to be a steady floor and a nice little wide receiver too that you can use week in and week out. We've seen him start to stretch the field a little bit, Christian Kirk. I see him becoming something and be either way, without D-Hop, with or without him. But I mean, if he's out, you smash play. But I think even if he's in, you're going up against Russ, man. Like, you're gonna have to put up points and you're gonna have to put up yards. And Kirk is a really good play this week.
Yeah, I think Arizona. I think he's playing. Yeah, he's playing. I have a real strong feeling about, and Hopkins is a smash up against Seattle.
100%.
Yeah.
Chef, I like this next one.
All right.
Thank you, Vision Assault, for the tilt.
Appreciate it. Mini Jordan 718 back up again. Follow-up question. PPR, choose a flex. OBJ, DJ Chark, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, or Justin Jackson. Thanks for the help. Just pick one. Wow.
What a roster.
Wow. This is a 6-man league.
Like, who you starting? Yeah, man.
Oh my,
this is great.
This is like us we wouldn't be able to. We'd be tilting on every Sunday. Wait, we do tilt every Sunday. That's why we do the show.
Everybody tilts every Sunday. The problem is we get it solved before the week so that we can come in and figure this type of thing out. Started from the bottom, Chef. I mean, it's full PPR, so we're probably, because we don't know about Kelly, I'm going to go with one of the receivers. I think OBJ against backup corners feels like the start. That feels like the proper way to go about it.
Ooh, that's a toughie.
I mean, DJ Moore's in New Orleans. You got Deontay Johnson going up against Tennessee, who we saw everybody had success last week against them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's finally back. And the 2 games that he was healthy, he had 10 targets. Like, I mean, it feels, I feel like Deontay Johnson, OBJ is my narrow down. Maybe
it's between Deontay Johnson and OBJ.
Yeah, because Shark is going to get Casey Hayward.
Yeah.
Right. So, and Justin Jackson may split with Josh Kelly. So we're going to eliminate him that way. DJ Moore may or may not get Lattimore. I don't know. I like Moore too. Moore is the 3. It's Deontay, Moore, and OBJ.
Let me see the matchup for New Orleans. Sorry for
it's okay. I think
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina's matchup should be Lattimore, should be on Robbie Anderson.
No, other way around.
He's on DJ Moore.
Anderson gets Jenkins.
Okay, so let's eliminate DJ Moore. Even though Lattimore hasn't been his normal self, he's still Marshawn Lattimore. So respect on his name and go Deontay Johnson or OBJ.
I'm gonna go with Deontay Johnson.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go with Deontay Johnson. Wow. Everybody in the industry, especially, has been tooting for
Claypool
for Deontay Johnson
to come back.
But before the Claypool breakout.
Right.
So Claypool has a good matchup. The whole Pittsburgh receiving core has a good matchup this week. And I think Deontay Johnson benefits from that.
I think that I love the fact that he might be back on that like double-digit target thing. My whole
he
thing
gets
is
Jonathan Joseph this week, or he flip-flops with Claypool up against Malcolm Butler. And Malcolm Butler's been getting beat. Jonathan Joseph's been getting murked.
Right. Are they getting Adoree Jackson? Is Adoree Jackson back healthy? I'm pretty sure he is, right?
I didn't see anything on there, and he's not on the matchup sheet.
All right, so then he's back healthy. He's pretty good slot corner.
Adoree's not on the, he's not on there. Christian Fulton is on the list.
Oh wow. All right, you know what? Yeah, let's go Deontay Johnson because the OBJ might be run heavy. Like the Cleveland game might be so run heavy that he kind of has one of those games where he has 3 or 4 catches again, and they just win the game running the ball. So let's go Deontay Johnson on that. Double-digit targets when he was healthy. I love him.
Thanks, Minnie Jordan. We appreciate you, man.
Great tilt. Great roster, by the way. Good job on you. I don't know how you did that with drafting or trades, but good job on you.
You're making moves, Minnie Jordan.
Making moves.
All right. Mob GG. Hey, guys. Thanks for your time. David Johnson or Antonio Gibson? Full PPR.
Yeah, anybody playing Dallas is me. I'm in all day on that.
He's going Gibson.
Yeah, all day.
I'll jump on that bandwagon. Let's roll. Let's roll. I have a lot of Gibson shares.
My man.
I like the matchup for David Johnson as well, but that's a good tilt to have, and that's a tough one. I think he could be limited, and if they want to throw the ball, they're going to throw the ball to Fuller this week. Fuller's got a good matchup. So, all right, our next one is from Jay Collins, 1030. Need one: Melvin Gordon, Devin Singletary, James Robinson, or Jerick McKinnon.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
I don't like Robinson against the Chargers.
And I don't like McKinnon against the Pats. But do you trust Melvin Gordon up against Kansas City?
No. We're going to go Devin
Singletary.
We're going to go Devin Singletary.
Against the Jets.
Yeah. Phillip Lindsay had 23 carries for 101 last week. So, I mean, he's getting the workload. I don't know what that split's going to be like, what the sore throat was about with Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon should be playing this week. I know, but they're going to split work.
Right. They'll split the work. I don't know how I feel about that split. While I think Devin Singletary against the Jets is the smash play. They got to get right. Yeah. They got to get right.
No. And we saw him carry the ball the majority of the snap share last week up against Kansas City, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
He actually ripped up pretty well.
He'll split a little bit with Zach Moss, but I think it's a game that they have to get that offense rolling. They've had a couple sputter games after they started off to that 4-0 start, and they were doing really well. The Bills need to get right game, and against the Jets is where you get right, and Devin Singletary should be a big part of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So thanks for the question, Jay Collins. Win it with Devin Singletary this week, brother or sister. And this guy, Mr. Tilting Tony himself.
Tilting Tony.
Ant DeStefano is on and live watching. So Aaron Jones is going to attempt to play. Would you still start Jamaal Williams?
Yes.
Over Aaron Jones? Ooh.
Not over Aaron Jones. I think he's asking in general. Like if you had Jamaal Williams, I think Jamaal Williams has his own standalone value regardless because he's a little bit involved in the passing game. Yes, of course, if Aaron Jones is there, it's going to be less. But on a calf strain, like I said earlier, with the risk involved, I just feel like Jamaal Williams is going to get to play anyway, and he's going to get carries.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk it with Aaron Jones. If he, he could come in first play of the game, get one carry, and pull that calf and tear it,
right,
and then he'll be done for 4 weeks.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think the doctors are going to allow him to do it.
Right. They didn't let Devontae Adams play, and he was tweeting that he was ready. And we also don't know for sure because in like 32 minutes, they'll announce whether he's going to be active or not active. So if he's active, I still would have trepidation about starting Aaron Jones. I'm leaving him personally off my lineups. He could go off and smash and have 200 yards, but I can't play. I can't take that risk. And I'd rather start Jamaal Williams, who's going to get involved whether or not Aaron Jones plays.
So then he says, so Latavius Murray or Jamaal Williams in the flex. Are you playing one of us this week?
Probably. He's playing Danielle.
He's playing your fiance.
He's playing my fiance in that league. Okay. Look, she said, don't help DeStefano. He's playing me. I'm sorry, boo-boo. We have to help everyone. And Tilting Tony. I'm probably going Jamaal Williams, man.
I'm going Jamaal Williams.
Yeah. The involvement in the passing game alone just makes me play Jamaal Williams.
All right, we skipped around a little bit, so let's go back up to here. Dad22 from Twitter. Deshaun Watson or Justin Herbert this week?
I'm going to go Herbert.
Herbert against the Jags?
Yeah, Herbert against the Jags. He's been throwing for about 300 yards every single game. He's on pace to smash the 4,374-yard record that Andrew Luck set back in like 2012. I think it's Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I agree. I think Deshaun Watson, he could get the yardage a little bit more with his legs.
Right.
But I downgrade him to a low-end QB1 this week, going up against the Packers cornerback group.
Yeah, Jair Alexander's the real deal. And they, like I said, they got Kenny Clark back, and they need to get right after that showing in Tampa. And you saw Tampa win and have success, but Brady didn't have a huge fantasy day. I think Herbert has a chance against the Jags to light it up.
Yeah, so I hope that helps, Dad22. Justin Herbert for the win, man. I'm playing him. I'm playing him this week.
You got him, start him.
All right, next question is from TS on YouTube. Thanks, TS, for joining in. And their question is McKinnon, Justin Jackson, or Brandon Cooks for flex PPR?
I think this is the first time I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take Justin Jackson. I finally found my tilt.
You found your tilt?
Yeah, I love the 49ers run scheme. They've run against everybody, and I understand like they usually find a way to have success, but when the Patriots want to stop something, they stop it. And I feel like, Belichick should be able to slow down McKinnon. I mean, Lindsey did have 101 yards last week against them though. So yeah, but I'm going to stay with Justin Jackson.
Yeah, I'm going with Justin Jackson here, and I'm staying away from Brandon Cooks. He actually lines up against Jair Alexander this week.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not the guy that you want to start.
I mean,
in this predicament,
when Cooks was Cooks, he could get right on anybody. And, and Jair is a shutdown this year, but he used to be sporadic. Like last year, he had a few games where he was sporadic, but now Jair Alexander has become a shutdown corner, kind of, or not kind of, actually, is becoming a shutdown corner, and you got to leave him alone if you can avoid that matchup. And Justin Jackson, 116 yards rushing for Swift, found the end zone twice last week. So Jackson has that same matchup against that Jags defense. So Jackson for me.
Yeah, Jackson for me as well. That's a good one. That's a good tilt. Our next one is from Hartnell Down on YouTube. OBJ or DJ Chark, full point PPR. OBJ.
Yeah, Casey Hayward's going to be on. On DJ Chark.
On Casey Hayward on DJ Chark.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, and I'm not trusting Minshew until he proves otherwise.
Nope. There's even rumors he might get benched too if he doesn't start playing well. Yeah, I saw that on Fantasy Life.
Who's the Laton? Laton is the backup there?
Yeah.
The rookie?
Yeah, I don't know.
The 5th round rookie?
I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Tank for Trevor.
Yeah, tank it for Trevor. All right, our next one up from Kashif Mustafa from YouTube. Thank you for joining in. And for all you guys, and I'm seeing the questions build up here. Guys, don't say last one. If you guys have another question, we're here to answer your questions. Don't feel like you're clogging our chat right now.
Right now, because this way we get to talk about the games in a different way instead of just breaking down
different.
the game
we love this.
one. So
this is what we're here for. We're here for the tilt.
100%. And this is a great one right here too.
Read it off. Go ahead.
So do y'all know if DeAndre Hopkins is leaning towards playing, or should I start Galladay in for Hopkins? If I have that kind of an option, yes. Because you don't know, and it's an 8:30 game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So bird in hand, Kenny Galladay is in all my DFS lineups, and I'm going with Kenny Galladay out of these two.
And we already mentioned at the top of the show that Sheffield is out.
No, he's
playing, but he's
suspect.
He's a suspect candidate.
He's one
of
those guys, one of those corners that you may want to target, like Hargraves or Mike Hilton when he was healthy. Like there's guys that you want to pick on kind of in lineups and in fantasy. And I think that Kenny Galladay is a smash play this week. So if I have this kind of a tilt, I don't think there's going to be, even if Hopkins plays and Galladay plays, they could both put up similar numbers. They could both go 10 catches over 100 and find the end zone. Like that's within the realm of outcomes. And I think Kenny Galladay is a smash play.
I like that one. I'll leave it on there. I'm not going to answer that one. I have stock in both players. I can't do it to them. No. DeAndre Hopkins, if he's playing, he's going to be the wide receiver one. But like you said, Juan, Kenny Galladay has a great matchup this week, and I can see him finishing inside the top 10 wide receivers this week. Easy. So if you need that smash home run, like you're projected to lose by like 20 points with Galladay in your lineup, then you know what? Shoot for the moon and go with DeAndre Hopkins. But if you need those, if you need those 15 points and it's a rubberneck match, then yeah, play Galladay and go with the safer route.
Because you don't know. And then if you have another option, it's going to be in that Bears and Rams game maybe, and it's a deep dart throw kind of situation. You got Kenny Galladay. Fire up Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Appreciate it, Mr. Mustafa. Kashif Mustafa. All right. On to the next question from Jalen Juice. Start 2. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Todd Gurley, Jerick McKinnon, or Justin Jackson. Here we go again. Everybody has Justin Jackson on the roster. They're listening.
Jackson and McKinnon, yeah. And you know, it's a great spot to be tilting, and that's a great lineup of 4 guys to have. You know, I love me some CEH, man. So I can't leave him out of a roster. Like, I can't leave him off a lineup. I don't care about Le'Veon Bell yet. After this game, we'll know a little bit more, but I think it's still too soon for Bell to get anything over 8 to 10 carries. Maybe the Darrell Williams carries is what he gets. So CEH is a must out of these 4 for me.
Well, since you pick CEH, I'm going to go ahead and start Todd Gurley. He's got a great matchup against the Lions. They are 29th against the run. And I think he gets those 15 touches, or I think he gets more on the 18 to 20 touches this week with catching 3 or 4 balls, and most likely gets into the end zone. And yeah, I think he's a smash play this week and a low-end RB1.
Right. And McKinnon has hope because of he's going to go against New England, and Lindsey had 101 and all that. And then Justin Jackson's got a great matchup against the Jags. So, like, upside maybe Jackson over Gurley's floor or over CEH's questions. Like, you could be tilting in that range. But I at this point, if I had that lineup, I wouldn't get cute. Like, I would, I would just go CEH and Gurley and lose with my stars. So you put your, aces in their places and ride.
That's what it is with that one. Yep. And yeah, you can't downgrade Clyde Edwards-Helaire until we see it.
Right.
Until we see it. He's going to get the passing work regardless.
Yeah, 161 yards last week. Like, prove me wrong, and then I'll do it. Then
Great question, Jalen Juice. Appreciate it.
Tilt, though.
Everybody out there on YouTube, don't forget, hit the subscribe button to The Tilt is Real
we're here every
YouTube
Sunday.
page. We're here every Sunday. We also do a live show on Wednesdays for our podcast, The Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast.
Indeed.
All right, so moving right along, Mob GG coming back. Herbert or Bridgewater? Now that's good because they both have a great matchup.
Yeah. Teddy B against the Saints. I think I'm gonna go Herbert though.
Same.
Yeah, I got to ride with the rookie.
Yeah,
he's got
shown
a hot hand right now. You wouldn't have benched Andrew Luck in his rookie year.
It's the air yards that gets it for me. Herbert is airing the ball out. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, both going to play.
Mike Williams is back. Yeah, Mike Williams is back and healthy. Yeah,
and I think it's Herbert.
And they're coming off the bye. Yeah,
that's a great. You have 2 great quarterbacks for the rest of the season on your roster. Do not drop any of them.
And indeed,
trade one away if you would want to trade Bridgewater away because his bye week is week 13.
Yep.
That may be something too. So if he does have a big game this week, and you could ride it for the rest of the season with Herbert, I believe.
I think so too. I think he's one of those guys that you're going to be able to start every week. Like Andrew Luck in his rookie year, man, you just didn't bench him. You left him in.
Great question, Mob. Appreciate it. Moving right along. Last one, Herbert, Stafford, or Cam? Stafford. Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta. Pick on Atlanta.
1, 2, 3.
Pick
Stafford.
Pick on Atlanta, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Collins. It's Stafford this week. He should have an awesome game. You got to pick on Atlanta when you can.
Yeah.
Next one, Self Tanksley. Great name. Coming from Facebook. Need a flex. Rojo, Keenan Allen, or T. Higgins?
Wow. I told myself once upon a time that I would never bet against Keenan Allen again because he's one of those guys who's just going to be a target monster and he's going to do whatever he wants against whatever defense.
You can't bet up against Keenan Allen. Not up against Jags.
Yeah. I got to go Keenan Allen. He's the safe play. He's the name you know. And again, this is one of those, like, I wouldn't get cute. Like, he's my star. He's my starter. I know Rojo's on a roll and he had over 100 yards again against the Packers.
But Leonard Fournette is healthy and he's going to steal some goal line work. I believe so.
Or just work in general.
In
general, yeah.
And then T. Higgins, we talked about it earlier. He gets the Denzel Ward treatment.
And that's pretty much good night
and
for
you want to stay away from that. So, yeah, Keenan Allen is your best bet. Self Tanksley. Great name.
That is a cool name.
All right. He says, I thought Alexander was shadowing Fuller.
I thought the logic would be that he would shadow him because you want to take away the best guy. But since Cooks lines up on that right side is what you're saying, and Jair Alexander likes to be over there, that maybe that's why he was on him. But if I'm Green Bay, I stick him on full. I stick Jair on Fuller all day.
So Jair Alexander is going to move around a little bit, and so will Fuller and Cooks.
Right.
But the simple fact that Jair Alexander will get matched up with Brandon Cooks, I would stay away from that.
From Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. What are you going to trust? I mean, Brandon Cooks gets targeted here or there. He's only had one good game, and I forget the matchup who he took over Cooks. Let me scroll back up and say. Justin Jackson. Was it Justin Jackson?
I think it was Justin Jackson was involved in that particular tilt, and I would go with Justin Jackson.
Yeah, we're going with Justin Jackson because Justin Jackson is going to be on the field and getting all the work.
Right.
At least majority of the work.
I just like Justin Jackson because you're going up against the Jags. If it was Joshua Kelly and they announced he was a starter, I'd like him too, because anybody going up against the Jags right now, I feel like they can have success on the ground. But yeah, I think regardless of matchup, it's too much of a bet between Cooks and like Fuller, who's going to get Jair or which one doesn't get Jair. But whoever does, if they get it for the majority of the time, is going to have an off day. And I have a lot of stock in Will Fuller in different leagues, and especially in our league of record where I'm playing the chef this week.
Oh man, I'm going to get murdered.
But I'm going to start Fuller regardless of that though, because he will have to move around and Jair will move back and forth. You know what? We should have had Yake and Bake, Aaron Yakel, to answer that question for us, right?
Yeah.
To let us know whether or not Jair was going to shadow Fuller full time.
I don't think he's going to shadow him, but we'll see.
I would if I was Green Bay. If I was
that's one way to shut down Houston is take one of them out of him.
Try to take him away.
All right, Mr. Tilting Tony back again. Valdez, Scantling, or Ruggs in the flex. Don't get cute. Play Ruggs.
Yeah. Yeah, stop trying to reinvent the wheel, Tony. You good. Ruggs.
All right.
Listen, Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis are real, okay? That the Tampa Bay defense is absolutely real, but you've seen Carr try to take shots. Ruggs is finally right. He's a guy with too much talent for you to pass up and take chances on Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who you see sometimes disappears. So, yeah, don't get cute.
Don't get cute. What's up, brothers? Hey, what's up, Jay?
Man, Jay?
Ruggs or Cooks in the flex? Tough matchups for both. Is he playing any of us in this? He's playing me. Oh man, I'm not answering. I can't answer that one, Jay, but I'll let Juan answer it for you.
I'll answer it for you. Yeah, Ruggs.
Yeah,
Ruggs.
Yeah, it's Ruggs.
I got to ride with Ruggs. Cooks, like you said a couple weeks ago, Cooks had a good game and all that, and I get it. You know, he's involved in the offense, but it's Ruggs season, man. Like it feels like the time is right for Ruggs to go off. He's gonna hit a home run at some point today. That's the only way you're going to attack that Tampa Bay defense. You're not going to beat them with some gimmicky sideline to sideline stuff.
He says, I'm not. Yeah, okay.
He says he's playing Connor, see?
You're
playing me, Chef.
I'm playing him in one league. I know I'm playing him in one league.
By the way, is there a cooler name than the Old Dirty Dynasty? Like
Old Dirty Dynasty.
A bunch of different names for your leagues, man. The Old Dirty Dynasty.
And for those of you that listening,
shout out to Frank Duffy in Staten Island, my man Frank.
Oh yeah, he's out there.
He's in Staten Island. No, I don't know if he's here, but he's in Staten Island and Old Dirty. So
the Old Dirty. All right. Next question from Billy Foster on YouTube. What's up, Billy? Thanks for joining us on Sunday morning. He wants to know Stafford or Herbert. Now that's a good one.
He already did it himself. He put it in all caps.
Yeah.
You already knew.
Stafford.
Yeah.
It's Stafford. I like Herbert. Herbert's going to have a great game. Or we hope to see Herbert have a great game.
But that game could also go where they're up and they're winning and their defense is holding down the Jags and they just run the ball a little more.
And Detroit has a poorer defense, giving up points, so it's more of a shootout than a blowout.
We expect a full shootout in that game, and Vegas does too, and Vegas is hardly ever wrong, dude. That's why they have all that money in those big monolithic buildings, like 54.5 over under. They know something that we don't know, and yeah.
He says, I'm also starting both Chargers running backs and Chargers defense.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I don't know what your flex options are as far as having both running backs. I think the gut call is Justin Jackson is going to be the lead guy, and we saw him working against New Orleans, and he was more effective. So, yes, at least start one of them, and, yeah, you can start the Chargers defense, too. Like we said, Minshew's struggling, dude.
Yeah, Minshew's struggling. Casey Hayward should have a good game.
They played Detroit last week, and James Robinson didn't do much, and he was struggling. The only success they had was Keelan Cole. So, yeah, I would start the Chargers.
And I don't have a problem playing both running backs in this one if you have to. If you're saying you're putting them in your lineup, yeah, he's saying right here, both his RBs are on bye. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Josh Kelly may steal some work. He may steal a goal line touch.
And it could be a blowout late, and they both just get a lot of ground.
Yeah, and they both could work out for you. So, yeah, that's not a bad play, Billy.
Yeah, that's what you have to do when you got to tilt, man. and it's tilting season with all these bye weeks happening too. Like, you know, every week it happens. The buys, the COVID, and 2020. We don't say
COVID.
that. We don't say that.
We don't say that word.
2020.
It's 2020. We
So,
all
yeah,
call it 2020.
Bye weeks and 2020.
We don't like the
happen.
C word on this show.
No, we don't.
No C words. Except for Cooks
And carries.
and Connor. All right. What's the time on here?
We got 15 minutes till we find out the start, sit, and all that, the active and inactive list.
Oh, nice.
That's usually our esteemed producer who handles that list, and he starts calling out all the ins and outs. But we'll do that for you today too.
All right. So Sabrina wants to know. I'm not helping her. James White or Jamaal Williams this week? I'm gonna go with Jamaal Williams on this one.
Yeah.
If Aaron Jones doesn't play,
15 minutes from now, we'll decide it for me. If he's totally out, Jamaal Williams. If he's gonna even attempt to play, James White gives you enough of a floor that you want to play James White. I just feel like James White is 6 catches and 70 yards waiting to happen. So he gives me a little bit of a floor.
and tell Sabrina to jump on the show and ask her a question for herself.
That works too, Jake.
We need the viewers. We need the viewers. We love our viewers. All right. That's the end of the question round right now. But if you guys are out there and you're listening, feel free to join in on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're live for at least another 45 minutes, answering your Tilt roster questions for week 7.
And in 15 minutes, it's going to get real anyway. That's when they start back up. It's like, oh, this guy's out, this guy's in, and then it starts going crazy.
Yeah, that's when I have to start watching my phone for the updates.
Yeah, we'll do that in 15 minutes.
We'll be all right. All right, so let's get back to some matchups.
Which is cool because we already kind of covered a lot of this stuff right here, but we didn't particularly cover is the Panthers and the Saints, right?
No, we didn't really get into that too much. So
Right.
let's go ahead. Let's start here. Drew Brees, are you avoiding him up against the number 4 defense in Carolina? If you have him on your roster and say you have, we'll make it easy, Justin Herbert or a Matthew Stafford, are you playing him over the
Not
MVP?
Not anymore.
Yeah, no.
Not anymore.
Yeah, Drew Brees just hasn't had it, has he?
I think I'm taking Teddy Bridgewater in this game over Drew Brees.
I like that pick too.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Teddy B over him in this game. It's just, and especially the receivers are out, Chef. Like, this is Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray all day. Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't even get into that.
No.
So Michael Thomas is out with the ankle injury after punching one of the defensive men on his team.
Dude,
guy.
It's comical at this point because it started out with the ankle and then it turned out to punching a guy and then he pops a hamstring. So like,
oh my goodness. Emmanuel Sanders is out with 2020
hamstring first and then the ankle.
Hamstring, then the ankle, connected to his dumb bone.
Yeah,
for punching the guy.
Pretty much.
And then Benny Fowler is out. He's on IR. He goes out. Curtis Samuel is questionable in this game. I am avoiding. I think Curtis Samuel is droppable at this point.
Yeah, it's time to cut the
I know he was one of your favorite sleepers going into the year, but it's time to cut the cord on that one, man.
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, Chef. I'm folding Curtis Samuel. It's time.
All right. So Mike Davis, at least 16 attempts and 3 targets in the last 3 games. At least 15 fantasy points in every game, except last week versus the Bears.
Right, which was expected.
Are you trusting him up against this strong New Orleans D?
I mean, I guess you have to. He's giving you that kind of a floor, and it is like bye-week season, and it's all that stuff. So
this might be his last hurrah before
CMC comes back and takes the job. So yeah, maybe they throw him a bone and he gets a swan song, and today he gets 25 carries instead of 15 or 16. So yeah, you have to trust him at this point, unless you have better options. If you have a Justin Jackson or something else that you can pivot to for this week, yeah.
All right, and Minnie Jordan coming back on the 718. Should I drop AJ Dillon for the Chargers defense, I'm assuming, or wait until the Packers game is over? I have to word that a little bit better. Should I drop AJ Dillon for the Chargers defense, I'm assuming?
I'm assuming the defense, yeah.
Or wait until the Packers game is over? I mean, if you're planning on playing AJ Dillon,
yeah, you're probably not going to play him though. Like I want to play him. Like
so here's the thing: check your league settings, and as a commissioner, I'll let you know a little insight. If you drop your player today, no one's going to be able to pick him up until Tuesday anyway.
Right.
And no one's going to be able to pick him up and play him. So if you're just holding him and you're going to swap him out for that Chargers defense and you need a defense,
that's a good one.
The Chargers defense is a great one. If they're on your waivers, you claim them right now.
Yeah, you can do that.
So yeah, I would say if you have your roster set for running backs already and you're not going to play AJ Dillon anyway, then yeah, you could do that. And I think even if they do take out Aaron Jones, I think AJ Dillon, you may see a little bit of him around the goal line, but it's mostly going to be Jamaal Williams' day.
Agreed.
So yeah, man, Minnie Jordan, get that Chargers defense on your roster. They should not be available right now.
Yeah, good on you by making that move. That's a good move to make right now. Sunday morning, wake up and tilt. That's how you got to do it, Chef.
Yeah, man, they're tilting out there, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the fandom right now. I'm loving the questions. All right, where were we?
Saints.
Oh,
Mike Davis, all that.
So with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders being out, Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris. Are you trusting anybody this week up against that Carolina secondary? They are ranked second in the league.
Yeah, they're really, really good. The kid Jeremy Chin is really, really good. So no, I'm not. I trust Alvin Kamara. I maybe trust Latavius Murray to get some kind of carries, but I don't know. Again, why is New Orleans a 6.5 point favorite?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Oh, bet the Panthers on this one, guys. If you're listening, we're putting our money down on the Panthers with the spread. I even got Brawlick and took the money line.
Me too. I took
on a big parlay.
I just don't understand why that game should be 6.5 points. I mean,
yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense.
If Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders were playing, okay,
right,
makes sense.
Maybe. I think maybe because of the late Emmanuel Sanders news that the lines weren't switching, because I saw the line go from 7.5 to 6.5 while we were looking at it this morning pre-show.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I just think Carolina's a much better team than everybody thinks. Even last week against the Bears, where they were kind of manhandled a little bit, they showed fight and resolve and brought that game back to being close. So I just don't see that.
All right, next question from Sauce Money, and we've seen Sauce Money before. He joined us in one time on our Wednesday show. We appreciate you, Sauce Money. Justin Jackson or Darrell Henderson in standard?
I love the standard.
Old school standard.
OG. I got to go Justin Jackson. I don't like anybody going up against the Bears, and I hate that committee. Like, that's one of those things that I did like in the last couple of weeks where I've completely faded away that Rams defense. I don't want that variety pack like we called it on the 6-pack with Corey. Shout out Corey. Yeah, I don't I'm staying away from that. So I'm going to go with Justin Jackson. The opportunity against the Jags is too good.
I agree, man. You don't want anything to do with going up against that Bears defense.
Yeah. And it's Monday night, it's late, and you never know. It could be Mike Brown, it could be Cam Akers' first game that they use him.
We saw all running backs struggle up against that Bears defense, and they are fully healthy. So avoid. And if you have Justin Jackson in that good matchup, play him. But thanks, Sauce Money. Appreciate the question.
Appreciate the tilt for sure.
Next one, Shades 721, Standard League. Here we go. Another standard question. It's awesome.
Love it.
Starting Carson. I have Rojo and David Johnson for the second slot, or should I pick up Jamaal Williams and play him over them? Who are you dropping if you're picking up Jamaal Williams? I would consider that in the question.
And this one is tough because, again, I'm making that call in 8 minutes. Like, I'm making that call as to whether or not, if Aaron Jones is playing and he's involved in the game in any way, then I would take Rojo or David Johnson and start my tilt right there.
Yeah.
Instead, and leave Jamaal Williams out of the equation. However, if Aaron Jones is out, then I start Jamaal Williams. And I think I start him over both of them. The Fournette question you raised earlier, Chef, like Fournette could see a lot more involvement than we think.
Oh, he has an open slot. So I would pick up Jamaal Williams just so no one else in your league could pick him up.
100%.
If you have an open slot.
100%.
Yeah. Just go out and grab him so no one else can pick him up, play him against you.
Right, because it's standard. You don't want to have like, if Aaron Jones is playing, then I don't start Jamaal Williams because then his success becomes predicated on whether or not he's going to receive some passing work. So I leave Jamaal Williams out if Aaron Jones is playing in any way. And then I go Rojo or David Johnson. I go Rojo. You
going Rojo on that one, huh?
Yeah.
You like Rojo.
I don't love him, but I love, back-to-back 100-yard games. And I love the fact that, 3.3 yards after contact, which is 0.2 more than Derrick Henry. So yeah, I like that. The only person that has more yards after contact in the league is Derrick Henry than Rojo.
I agree with you.
You know,
I'll go with that. You know, the Las Vegas Raiders, they're an upside play when it comes to the running back.
Yeah,
they definitely
they're
are.
a favorable matchup for sure.
It's a favorable matchup, and I'm looking at the numbers right now, and the numbers don't lie. They are 30th against fantasy running backs, allowing 26 fantasy points per game.
And that's not against the second leading yards after contact guy in the league. So,
and I think Rojo. I think you're right. I think Rojo has proved himself enough to where he can do his thing.
Yeah, he's trusted, and he's greatly. That stat doesn't lie. Yards after contact doesn't lie, because your offensive line can do whatever it wants. If you get 3.3 yards after contact, it doesn't matter how good or bad your offensive line is, and he happens to play on a really good offensive line with a good quarterback with amazing weapons.
Oh, and if anybody hasn't heard the news yet, I think
lead.
CNN even broke the news with Antonio Brown joining the Buccaneers, and we'll see him most likely in Week 9.
I wasn't gonna do it because Madden consumes me whenever I get too deep into Madden, but Chef, we're gonna have to start playing, dude.
All right, let's do it. I got a couple codes.
I want to line up with those 3 receivers and Gronk and that running back. I want to try it. I want to see what that'd be like.
All right, I mean, Fortnite's getting a little boring right now with their Halloween matchup.
So see what that's like.
It's time to get some Madden going.
Who plays in the slot? Who's where? Is it him or Godwin? It's gonna be exciting, man. It's great for football in general. It's going to suck for fantasy, but it's great for football.
Thanks a lot, Shade721, for your question on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. And once again, for all you that are out there, follow our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our website at www.tiltisreal.com. We do a waiver wire hero sheet every week.
It's a league winner.
It is a league winner. And I'll put it up on here real fast. I think I still have it saved from our Wednesday show. For those of you guys that don't know, we do a Wednesday show, and we put this up I post it every Tuesday on social media. It's on Twitter. It's up on the website. Check this sheet out before you guys do your waivers. Like you said, look at this roster, man. Justin Herbert, Boston Scott already smashed.
Right.
J.D. McKissick is a play up against Dallas this week. Frank Gore can even sneak in there. He is going to get some kind of work. Christian Kirk, awesome matchup.
We love him.
Travis Fulgham, we saw him do his thing. T. Higgins, he's going up against Denzel Ward this week, but he should be on your roster. There's no reason why he's 48% owned. He should be at least 75% owned in leagues.
It takes a little while for names to catch on and for rookies to make an impact like that. So, people aren't really paying attention, but you should be.
And then you look at it, we had Tim Patrick, Russell Gage, both great matchups this week. Anthony Ferkser, he's that obviously this news came out before Jonnu Smith practiced this week, but he still could be a sneaky play in DFS.
Indeed.
Teddy Bridgewater, obvious start.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards. Now, I'm going to talk about Gus Edwards real fast, and I know this is the Sunday Tilt. You need Gus Edwards on your team. If you are the J.K. Dobbins owner, which I am, and I know Jay is listening on the show, and he is the Gus Edwards owner, you need Gus Edwards on your team if you are planning on starting J.K. Dobbins. If you own Mark Ingram, you should have Gus Edwards and or J.K. Dobbins in Dynasty.
For sure, in Dynasty, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mr. Swanson.
What's going on?
Oh, wow. And we were just going over the waiver wire hero sheet, but just real fast, the big news this week was Tua getting picked up by Miami and
getting started by Miami.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Fins up.
Fins up.
So Gus Edwards, Dallas Goedert, and Tua are three players that you want to add to your roster, and that'll help you out. Check out the waiver wire hero sheet every Tuesday on our website, www.thetiltisreal.com, or follow us on Twitter at TIR_pod for more details. And Mr. Swanson is in. What's going on, man?
Man, I just got home. For everybody listening, for real quick story time. Yesterday, my girlfriend's dad, who shout out to Kevin Ryder, my man is amazing. He decided to organize a bar crawl for the first time for the family. So as you can imagine, yesterday we all got banged up. Did you know they make 15? Like it's a blueberry beer that has 15% alcohol in it. It's a 15% beer. It's nuts. But it just happened to be at the house after the bar
That
crawl
sounds
was
brolic.
over.
I like the 15%, but go ahead.
Dude, it was. I had 2 of them before I went
Blueberry
to sleep.
syrup.
And I mean, whoa! Like we were in bad shape. And this morning, so I live 45 minutes away from where they live, and this morning, Bree and I woke up, my girlfriend and I, to realize that we couldn't find the car keys, and then we quickly we looked at each other. We were like, "Oh my god, the keys are in her brother's wife's car, Victoria's car, and she lives 45 minutes even further away."
Oh my!
There. So, all right, we're like, okay, we got to figure this out. So we're trying to call them. We're trying to get a hold of them. Meanwhile, we're searching the house for spare keys. Juan texted me, he's like, there's probably a spare key somewhere. I was like, you got to be right. So we find a key that has a Dodge logo on it because she drives a Dodge. But their dad's car is a Dodge too. Anyway, this key unlocks the door. It unlocks the damn door, but the alarm goes off. It's not the right key, but it unlocks the door for some reason. So now the car alarm is going off and it won't stop. And I'm trying to get it to stop and it will not. The car starts with the spare key, but you can't take it out of park. So the car keeps turning off and on. The engine is going off and on, but the alarm won't stop.
Sorry to cut you off, Mr. Swanson, but we've got some breaking news.
It's the Weekly Reel, presented by The Tilt is Real.
What is dropping here?
Aaron Jones officially out today.
God,
so yes, play your Jamaal Williams shares, play your AJ Dillon shares if you matter to pick him up. Juan reaching for his phone as we speak to change his lineups. No, not really.
I already did it.
We're prepared for this.
I took Aaron Jones.
Actually, you know what? I forgot. I did this yesterday already because I drafted Jamaal Williams in this one league to back up Aaron Jones because I have Aaron Jones. So I'm okay.
Before we get to the new chef, real quick, we want to answer this last one for Sauce Money because Sauce Money's been with us for a little bit right now.
Yes.
And I want to honor his question real quick. So thanks for answering, gentlemen. I have one more question.
Hang on, I'll get it up there for you. Hang on.
DJ Shark or Ceedee Lamb?
What up, Sauce?
We talked about it earlier, and DJ Shark is going to get the Casey Hayward treatment, and we would go with Ceedee Lamb.
I like Ceedee Lamb in this matchup, and like we said, we're not trusting Minshew too much. Yes, right. Shark gets the work, but up against Casey Hayward, Casey Hayward has been shutting down wide receivers.
Yep. And I love Ceedee Lamb's floor. He's been steady Eddie.
Thanks for the question, Sauce Money.
Yeah,
keep it real, brother.
Thanks for tuning in. The tilt is real.
For real. Thank you. So I guess to close out what happened.
I'm sorry to cut you out. Sorry to cut you off there.
That is breaking news, man. That's some important stuff. It's just weird, but her brother ended up driving the keys to the house, which was amazing. Shout out to him. We owe Kevin a big favor. We were going to drive them and meet them halfway because
we saw this video. We saw this part.
Oh my! This was great. This was the best part because we were parked behind her parents' car, so her parents' cars can't get out. We can't even take one of those. And her brother's car, he's 20. When I was 20, I had the same kind of car. There's, you know what I mean? It's a 20-year-old kid car. Yeah. So
hoop.
Yep. Doesn't start. Of course, the car doesn't start. Neighbor lady comes out. Like, oh my God, is everything okay? Is everything all right? We heard the thing. I'm like, yeah. She's like, are the parents still sleeping? I'm like, listen, that car alarm woke up the entire neighborhood. No one's sleeping right now.
Oh man, it
was a rough morning, and the whole time Bree and I were just laughing. It's one thing after another. We were like, oh my God, it can't get any worse, and then it would. So, currently right now we have Romanelli's breakfast sandwiches on the way. Big shout out to Drew and Romanelli's for all of the
there you go.
Us use their facility for everything.
Recoup.
And those delicious sandwiches are on their way to get my Sunday back on track. So how are you guys? What's going on?
That's great. We're doing wonderful, man. We're knocking it out. Our questions we're flowing in. And before we get back into one of our next questions, I'd like to take that Romanelli's plug real fast. Thank you. Shout out to Drew Huggard and Romanelli's Garden Cafe in Galloway, New Jersey, for letting us shoot our preview ad for our new YouTube show at Join Our Circle _ at Fantasy Intervention. Guys, if you do not know, check out FF Intervention on YouTube. It's at Join Our Circle _ on Twitter. We're doing amazing things there with fantasy for the fantasy football community. A lot of big names in there. Mike Fiera, Daddy's Home FF, Chase Vernon. Big shout out to Chase for putting us all together. Our man Corey Spala, Taylor Cornell. These are guys that are in the industry and really
Bolt, my man.
Brett, my man from down under,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Bolt. Love it. All these guys were doing great work. And we could shout out the whole list, and we probably should. Mr. Frank Duffy.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Give me a name.
Yeah, Frank got the shout out earlier. Brainiacs Troy.
Brainiacs Troy. FN Fuego at FN Fuego on Twitter. He's awesome as well. Very knowledgeable. Larry Monkey's on there. Bo McNose is on there.
Yeah.
These guys know their stuff, and we are blessed to be a part of their new group, their new circle, putting out new content along with the other companies that we work for. Check us out at joinourcircle_ on Twitter.
For sure.
All right. So Danielle Passarelli, whoever that is, wants to know, what do I do now? Dylan
What's
or
up,
Kelly?
G-Pass?
Now that's a
Now
tough
what
one.
do I do?
Oh, we got
That's
sound
how it
effects
is.
coming
That's
in
how
now.
she
It's
did it.
great.
Yeah. You're in a tough spot.
What'd I
Boo-boo.
do, Boo Boo? Dylan or Kelly?
I'm going Kelly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
I
to.
think I would too. Yeah.
and I hope she's not playing me.
He's going to have more involvement. Joshua Kelly's going to have more involvement, guaranteed involvement than Dylan. We don't know what Dylan's share is going to be. I
Right.
love Dylan as far as football player and talent. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think it's Kelly.
Have you guys discussed the? Have you gotten to the Cincy
Dylan
matchup
feels like-
yet?
Dylan looks like Derrick Henry so
Which
much. And I
matchup?
wrote that Kuko article. I'm scared. I don't know, man.
Oh,
I'm
the
tilted
Kuko
on that
article.
one.
Ooh.
It's Kelly.
Um,
It's Kelly.
It's Kelly this
Kelly.
week.
It's Kelly.
What
How
was
do
the
you
question,
guys-
Mr. Swanson?
This is for a question for me for one of my leagues. My roster's already locked. I'm not changing it, but I have to start AJ Green this week. How do you feel about? How do you guys feel okay about AJ Green? Because I feel like I should. I know it's like it's AJ Green, and it's like, where has he been all year? But
this week, right?
No.
I don't think
AJ Green
so.
is playing against
He's
the Browns.
playing
He's
the
gonna get
Browns.
he's going to be on the other cockerel, probably on the other side
It's
of
either-
on the
Yeah,
other side of
Higgins
the-
is getting Ward. You can play AJ Green,
I
but you
feel like
don't
I
feel
can.
really good
No.
about it.
Not
No.
great about it, but it's either him or Renfro, and I feel like
Yeah, no, him.
Yeah, no, him
Him.
over Renfro.
Yeah,
yeah,
AJ Green.
pro show.
AJ.
I just had to make that decision.
All right.
All right.
So let's get back to some matchups, guys.
Let's do it.
We were talking
Juan,
about.
are you at James's house?
Yeah, he's in the studio.
Oh,
man.
what's
I'm at
up?
the chef's, I'm at the
Oh,
chef's
Right,
you're
the
at
table.
chef's table, brother.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm waving from down the street.
We're
Hey.
drinking torpedoes
go.
here.
Oh, yo, those torpedoes, man.
Torpedoes are great.
They'll
Sank your
come-
battleship.
They'll come and get you. Sank your battleship.
So we like the Panthers. That was the last one that we talked about as far as the
Okay.
games go. And picking the game, we picked the Panthers over the Saints. We don't understand why the line is 6.5 and all that.
So the next matchup
the line
is the Bills versus the New York Jets at 1:00. The line is 12.5.
Oof.
Get the Buffalo giving 12.5, and the over/under is 45. Low scoring game in this one. So what Vegas is telling us by this is it's going to be a run heavy game.
Yeah, it was 24-0. The Dolphins beat the Jets last week. I expect the same kind of score. I don't expect it to be something crazy, and I don't expect the Jets to find their way to do much.
And there's a couple injuries that we do need to go over here. Dawson Knox, he caught 2020 and a calf
Oof.
injury. And for those of you that don't know and listening, when we say 2020, it is the pandemic
Coronavirus.
that is going on that will not be mentioned. Jamison Crowder, he is doubtful with the groin, and I'm waiting on news from him. I really
We
want to
should
see
have
if
it.
he's in or
We
out.
should
Crowder's
have that
out. Just happened.
Yeah,
Out.
He is out.
Out,
Okay.
out.
Yeah, usually you do that for us, Mr. Swanson, and you run
That's
us
what I'm here
down with
for.
the outs.
I'm here. Okay, so I'll give you
Trey
all that.
White.
Oh, you got him?
Is Trey White questionable? Trey White was questionable. I don't know if he's playing or not. I'm sure you won't be able to find it on our regular news.
That's actually pretty big because if he were to miss time, like Buffalo's defense hasn't been like they were last year. They've been a little bit shaky. So maybe if Trey White is out, you could target a Perryman or Denzel Mims, your boy.
Oh, yeah. So let's get into that. With Josh Norman being out, I think it's time, Juan. I think it's time for the world to meet the Baylor Bear, Denzel Mims. All right. Denzel Mims came in second in contested catches for the CFB last year, only behind Justin Jefferson. He is a matchup made in heaven. He has metrics made of, he's best related to Chris Godwin. I think he is a sneaky smash play this week. I think it's his breakout week up against a
Trey White is active.
Trey White is active, but Trey White will go up against Perryman.
Okay.
So with Josh Norman out, Mims gets the backup cornerback to mess around with. The same guy that we saw Demarcus Robinson kind of bang up on.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? Even Byron Pringle had a couple catches last week against this guy. I don't even know his name. I'm sorry.
Pringle.
But yeah, I think Mims is somebody you want to. I think Mims is somebody you want to own coming into the second half of the league. The Jets, we know they are playing from behind. They get Sam Darnold back. Sam Darnold loves to throw a deep ball. He loves to throw corner routes. He loves to throw post routes when he can, when he had those targets. He doesn't like dumping it down to Jamison Crowder. Crowder was the only guy on the field.
Right.
He wants to throw the ball. And Adam Gase, being a quarterback coach, wants to throw the ball. That's part of the thing. They got Frank Gore in there to pass protect, not run it 20 times a game.
Oh, they're going to still feed him, though. Adam Gase is going to keep banging his head against the wall, whether you want him to or logic wants him to or not. He's going to keep banging his head against the wall with Frank Gore.
I think today Mims is a great play if you are desperate. He should be owned. I think you should be picking him up on your rosters. If you held him through his IR, if you had an IR spot, he should have been in your IR. I know you did. I checked. I double checked. And today, and I'm speaking about this. Hopefully no one's listening and I'm playing against them. But I think Mims in DFS could be one of those Millie Maker contrarian plays for $3,000 in your flex spot.
$5 word.
If you were playing the chalk in DFS this week and need that contrarian home run, I think Mims could be a sneaky play. He could. I telling you, Juan, I've watched so much tape on Denzel Mims.
You like him, man. I feel he's like Josh Gordon to me.
We
talked to Chris Godwin, but I think he's got a little Josh Gordon in him.
And so what's wrong with that?
I know. That's what I mean. Like he could burst into the league today and come up with $150 and 2 touchdowns. But Trey White's playing, and I know he's going to shadow Perryman on the one side, but
is he shadowing?
I don't know if he's shadowing, but I think he's going to stick Perryman on that side. I can't trust the Jets chef.
He's shadowing Perryman.
Yeah, I'm completely against the
Buffalo cornerback that I was talking about is Saron Neal, and there's not enough stats on there. He plays 83% on the against the left wide receiver.
So yeah, earlier we were having a little bit of a debate,
or right wide receiver
chef with the Packers with Jair Alexander and all that, and Kevin King, the other corner, is out. I just checked the actives and inactive. So if Kevin King is out, so that Fuller should be okay if he's on that other side. So on that left side.
Got some
so that upgrades that upgrades Cooks and Fuller a little bit because they flip flop. They don't just stay to one side. Yeah, they move around.
We got tilts coming in.
We got some tilts coming in. Hey,
coming in.
All right, so let's put them up
there. What's up, Frank? So X Miles says AJ Dillon.
Oh, that's a joke.
Or
he meant Corey Davis.
He meant Corey Davis. AJ Dillon or Corey Dillon. AJ Dillon or Corey Davis.
Corey Dillon was a good running back.
I would play Corey Davis. I'm going to play Corey Davis in this one.
I think I am too.
Up against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They get beat up through the air.
Either Hayden or Nelson, either way, he can have some success. So, yeah, we'll probably go Corey Davis. Just because you don't know what it was going to happen with A.J. Dillon. In my gut, though, it's A.J. Dillon season, and he does what Derrick Henry did last week because they look the same, dude. Like, they're built and run and do everything identical. I wrote an article on DHH a while back, and it's El Cuco about El Cuco. And Dillon is kind of like Jamaal Lewis and Derrick Henry to the eyeball and to the metrics, too, like the stats. So I just don't know if he's going to have the opportunity over Jamaal Williams, who's an established running back and has been on that team for 3 or 4 years. They trust him. I think he gets 10 to 15 carries no matter what. But Corey Davis could score, and he should have PPR work. So,
yeah, I like
Cool.
Corey Davis. Thanks for the question, X Miles. And this next guy, Mr. Frank Duffy.
that's
Yo,
the third time he's
Frank.
made the show already. That's 3
My
times.
man.
Yo.
I love
and
it.
we're going to shout out Frank real fast before we get into his question. Frank Duffy is part of our at Join the Circle _ on Twitter.
Yep.
He's part of our YouTube new YouTube project with Fantasy Intervention.
Indeed.
And he just came out with a new show on YouTube for Fantasy Intervention. It's called Nature Takes with Frank Duffy.
And it's fire.
Juan actually
Nature Takes.
plays a role in this.
A small role, but yeah.
Small cautionary tale.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. But check it out. If you guys are out there watching us now, check out Frank Duffy on Nature Talks Fantasy Intervention on YouTube at Join Our Circle _.
Fire.
Oh, so
Speaking
Frank
of-
Duffy wants to know.
Wow.
He's our editor, and he's providing some content. My
Yeah.
man.
Wow. I love it.
He has Jamaal Williams and AJ Dillon,
Yep.
Jarek McKinnon, and Justin Jackson. Need 2 boys.
Jamal and Justin.
Yep.
Jamal and Justin.
Yeah, stay away from
Show
Jarek McKinnon going up
love.
against that Pat defense this week.
He may find success, but I just feel like Jackson has the easiest road to success, and then Jamal Williams is a smash play without Aaron Jones being there for sure.
Yerp. Show enough.
Hey, Matthew Hancock. Hey,
Matthew
guys, what's going on,
Hancock.
Matthew?
What's up, man? What's going
If
on?
you got a question, man, drop it in the chat.
And it doesn't have to be about football either, man. You can ask it. You can ask us what you're trying to figure out for dinner tonight. What do you want to start?
If you're
Chicken
tilting
parm?
on lunch options, let
Yeah,
me know.
man. We're here
I
for
am
your
the
lunch
chef.
tilt.
I am the FF chef for a reason, my friend.
enough. I'll help you with your beverage tilt one way or the other. No problem. All right, what do we got here? Oh, that's not breaking news. I got to get me some DFS in this week. Bree's gonna do some DFS. She did one last
I
week.
like. She should do one. It's cool. Like if you don't really like, if you're just going through it and trying to make the lineup, but you haven't done
Mhm.
like all these deep dives like us, because I've outthought myself 8 times on
That's why I
DFS
like when she
lineups
does
and
it.
options. Yeah.
It's cool because she'll do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess
Right.
that makes sense. Hey, 3 of us. Ooh, Matthew
Yeah, I'm
Hancock
wondering why we don't have our
says-
hand. You know what? Maybe that's
Matthew
why.
Hancock
Yeah.
wants to know if Christian
Yeah,
Kirk is a good start or not.
Yeah, this was on a little bit earlier, and the guy had the question was, is Kirk a start if D Hop doesn't play? And we said that Kirk might be a start anyway.
Cook's a flex option this week,
I was
regardless.
gonna say
Kirk, right? Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk.
I was saying regardless of whether or not he plays, I think he's a good start.
Yeah, he gets upgraded more if Hopkins is out, but yeah, Kirk, you could definitely play him in the flex this week.
Yo, Mr. Swanson, since we're answering that question, Juju,
Sure.
Christian Kirk, Laviska Shenault, or Debo?
Wait,
I want to
which
take
one was
Juju
it?
out of that.
Juju, Christian
I-
Kirk, Laviska
yeah.
Shenault, or Debo?
I feel like
I know
it's
my
Kirk.
answer.
I think Kirk is
I
my.
raised my hand.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
It's Christian Kirk.
It's Kirk. Okay, cool. All
It's because I'm playing the chef. I didn't want him to answer.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
That's in the old dirty
chef.
right there. That's where
You already
I'm
have Kirk in your lineup. Yeah, I've seen it already. I mean, put Debo in. See what happens.
I was
I
kind of
like Debo.
eliminating names, and the only one that I didn't want to eliminate was Kirk.
All right.
Poor Juju, man.
My man, I had to sneak my own tilt against the chef in there. Isn't that dope?
Let's see.
Slide it in.
I'm keeping that lineup on FanDuel. You'll all be sorry.
Oh yeah, the one where he has the three pass catchers. He had 3 pass catchers from the Texans, but he didn't stack Watson. He stacked Aaron Rodgers, if I remember correctly.
Oh
So,
my gosh! Did you find the osprey and the fish? That's what I
like that
want
He
to
found
know.
a black squirrel. That was fire.
Well, that's New York.
Yeah.
That's New
That's
York.
all about New York.
That's Thigh Town.
Yeah.
That's Thigh Town.
I remember growing up in the Bronx. My grandparents lived in the Bronx, and we'd always go there, and I would see black squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
So when we moved to New Jersey, I'm like, where are all the black squirrels go?
Black squirrels. Yep.
And apparently it's something just with New York.
You got to spoof that song, Mr. Swanson. Where did all the black squirrels go? The black squirrels, right?
Black squirrels.
I can't sing. I can't hold a tune, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Debo.
I
Not
love
this
Debo.
week,
I
man.
love Debo.
Not this week, though.
I love Debo. But yeah, I think I might have to go Christian Kirk on that Sunday night game. I like this next question Matthew Hancock has right here.
Yeah, go ahead. Read it off.
Yeah, Darren Fells or Robert Tanyan. I'm worried about Tanyan still not 100%. And I agree. I'm in the same boat. I have Tanyan in a couple leagues, but I have Jonnu as well, so I tilted that way. But Darren Fells feels like a really good play for me this week, and like I feel like that's a matchup that can be exploited. Last week, 5 for 78 or so for Gronkowski, right, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it feels like that could be the same kind of at least opportunity. The opportunity for Darren Fells is there, and like you said, Tanyan, if he's banged up, I don't know.
I like Tanyan this week. I have him ranked in my top 5 tight ends.
Right.
You're
not worried about the ankle though? You think he's
not worried about it? If they're putting him out there, he's healthy. He'll be all right. I think he got a full week's worth of practice in. He may have not practiced on Wednesday, and then he put in a full day's practice on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
So yeah, I think he's a start, especially against Houston, 21st and against tight ends. So yeah, I like him, and you can see him being that second target. I'd take Tanyan over MVS in a flex spot.
I think
That's the way I'm looking at it. If Aaron Rodgers throws you the ball and you catch the ball from Aaron Rodgers, and he goes back and throws to you again, and you catch the ball from Aaron Rodgers, and if it happens a third time,
and
you go in the end zone 3 times from Aaron Rodgers,
they're saying he's like a mini Kittle, man. Like that's what they're trying to.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a tight end since who's the name I'm looking for?
The boy Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham wasn't a tight end. He wasn't a tight end.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, yeah, he's a tight end, but he wasn't a tight end. He wasn't a tight grab, that's for sure.
He was. I mean, he's Jimmy Graham, bro. He's still catching touchdowns.
I was gonna say, my dude is still doing things.
Well, yeah, I think he's doing better with Nick Foles than he was with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers normally doesn't target the tight end position, but Tanyan is a wide receiver tight end hybrid.
They all are
nowadays.
Nowadays, they're all Evan Ingram.
Yeah, Evan Ingram. Okay. Trade talks about Evan Ingram coming in this morning.
Michael Finley.
Yes.
Wow, that's the name.
With Cleveland.
That's cool.
And then Joker.
Michael Finley.
Oh,
rumors.
Clutch money though.
Rumors. Yeah, and they do deal. That's a story for
Who do
Wednesday.
deal? Who do deal?
Whoa, he said Adams got pulled up with. Oh, he said Jamichael Finley. He's right.
He's right. Jamichael Finley.
Jamichael Finley. That's the guy. Thank you,
That's
Matthew. I appreciate that.
Number 86.
See how he does that.
I think.
See how he does, man.
You can fact check him. He's most likely right. I stopped trying to fact check him.
Finley was number 86. He said, "Well, Adams got pulled out." Oh, he means before he got pulled out with the hammy. Got it. Yeah, I'm afraid that's what I was afraid of with Aaron Jones as far as the hamstring. He got pulled out. Devontae Adams got pulled out even though he wanted to play.
Right.
And Aaron Jones, I figured that's why I banked on Jamaal Williams all over the place because I knew that they weren't going to make
I went out and grabbed Jamaal Williams anywhere I could, and I will have to be adjusting my rosters. I have him sitting on standby.
Yeah,
and I think, do you play Jamaal Williams or DeAndre Swift this week? That's a great tilt.
It's Swift season for me, cousin.
Yeah, I know.
I'm all over that. I like the Jamaal Williams matchup. I like the opportunity he's about to get. But if for some reason I just feel like it's a big Swift week, man, it's too much. It's
you think that AJ Dillon eats how many attempts or carries?
8 to 12.
Just really
8 to 12, easy.
8 to 12.
Yeah, he only had 5 last week. Yeah. AJ
Can you narrow it down a little bit more? Like maybe 8 to 10.
He goes double digits.
Okay, all right.
If you had me an over under, I would say over. He gets double digit carries because he looked good, man. He had 5 carries, but they were like 31 yards or 34 yards. Like he's averaging 6 yards a clip. And he's built like Derek freaking Henry. And like the matchup just feels like you can kind of work that kind of.
We've been waiting for this moment since May.
Yeah.
Juan and I did a deep dive college tour this year.
Yeah.
Thanks to 2020.
Winter. Like we've been on like, basically since,
since January.
Since 2020.
Since the Senior Bowl, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it goes. But yeah, that's why we're calling names out like today, like AJ Dillon. We're calling out Denzel Mims.
Yeah.
These are some of those guys that normal fantasy players aren't accustomed to hearing.
Right.
And get used to it, folks. These guys are the future.
And like it's great. Like we talked about at Join Our Circle _, but really that whole team, like the information that just gets passed back and forth, you can't help but to absorb it. And early, one of the first articles I read on DHH was about AJ Dillon. And it was Chase Vernon who wrote it. And I started I already knew and I already loved him and I already loved the talent. But then you start to look at scheme and how it fits and how the offense is going to flow and you're going to stretch run to the outside. And, that it works. Like it makes sense. And then you see him on the field and he looks like a beast. And today might be like a day where he gets 10 carries.
And LaFleur came out earlier this week and he said, when we heard about the Aaron Jones news, LaFleur came out and turned around and he said, I have all the faith in AJ Dillon. He didn't mention Jamaal Williams.
Right.
He said, I have all the faith in AJ Dillon if Jones doesn't go.
Because I think that's what happens is maybe Jamaal Williams keeps his role and then AJ Dillon gets 15 carries.
He's good. Definitely going to get in between the tackle work.
If he gets 15 carries, dude, he's over 100 yards. I'm telling you, like he could put up a monster surprise performance.
Oh, man, I want to put AJ Dillon in over Swift.
Is it worth noting that Harrison Bryant?
I can't. Not after watching what Swift did last week.
Exactly. You can't argue with 14 for 116 and 2 touchdowns. You can't go against that. You know what I mean? But it could be breakout week for AJ Dillon.
Matthew Hancock, he says, I have no trust in the Lions knowing how to use running backs. Yeah, Matt Patricia. Yeah.
Fair enough.
We know he wants to run the ball, but he just doesn't know how to use them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't trust it either because he saw Bevel was in Seattle before and he used to have these kind of things with Carson where it was up and down and you weren't sure what was going to happen. But I trust in the game script against Atlanta and having to be pass heavy. And I trust that Swift is going to get enough of the passing work to give me a safe floor. And I think Swift is a smash out of the two.
Did we talk about Harrison Bryant at all?
Yes, we did.
We did. All right, cool.
We went with Njoku over Harrison Bryant.
So for those of you that are listening, we have about 5 minutes left. Get your questions in.
You said Njoku's out.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So Harrison Bryant is expected to start over Njoku.
Well, yeah, Hooper's already out. So
Hooper is out.
Yeah.
Wait, Hooper's out and Njoku's not out.
Hooper's out. Yeah. Hooper's been out, but
yeah. So you're saying Harrison Bryant is expected to start over Njoku?
Over Njoku. That's what I just got. That's the breaking news.
Ooh.
That's the breaking news I got. Sure is.
Well, then that's interesting.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cleveland.
A little bit.
I don't know if I like it either way. I'm leaving them both alone. I think there's enough other options out there. There's enough tasty options. Like you can.
I would go with Eric Ebron over at Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, you can go get Darren Fells.
Okay,
Darren Fells. You might not be able to get Ferkser after the week he had, or Tunyon, but
Ferkser might not play either because Jonu's playing.
Hunter Henry might be available.
Have you guys started messing with your parlays yet?
Oh yeah. We got some nice juicy ones.
Yeah,
we got a question here from Matthew Hancock from YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, Matthew. We appreciate your questions.
Thank you.
J.D. McKissick, thoughts in PPR versus Dallas?
I think he's a good floor chef. I think he gets 5 or 6 catches for sure.
In a deeper league, I like J.D. McKissick, and he was on our waiver wire heroes sheet as a start this week. If you don't have viable running backs, he is definitely a guy that can get you at least 8 fantasy points this week due to the volume that he may see up against Dallas. We saw Kenyon Drake break through that line. Is it going to be Gibson?
Yeah,
I think Gibson's definitely going to get a lot of work, and you see McKissick more in a negative game script.
But you'll see him in this one
Very
too.
true.
But I think they go back and forth a little bit, and they use 2.
Yeah,
similar to when who were the running backs before McCaffrey? Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams.
Oh wow,
thank you.
28 and 34.
Yes, if they use that Riverboat Ron game script, that's what it's going to be looking like today. But maybe not. So I think Gibson smashes actually, but I think McKissick
he gets enough to give.
He gets enough in a floor for a floor. Yes, great question. Thank you.
Great question. What time is that game?
It is time, dude.
Yeah, it's time, man.
Wow, like that was the fastest 2 hours of my life.
That was really fast.
I swear to God, that was.
I
don't understand.
I didn't even crush a full torpedo yet.
I don't understand how.
Do you have any
the other night?
All right, so let's put it up, boys. Here's to week 7, and for all of you out there that are watching, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
everywhere. Juan, if you want to start with the outros while I chug this torpedo, and shout out, tell the guests everywhere where they can find your work, what you've been doing, and all that jazz. Go ahead.
On Twitter, I am at FF1ofAkind. You can find my work on thetiltisreal.com, www.thetiltisreal.com. And I am at joinourcircle_ at F Fantasy Intervention. And we are doing a great show. We do the 6-pack, Chef. You, I, Corey, and myself, we do the 6-pack every week, and we tell you 3 players that are on the rise and 3 players that are kind of skunky and we want to fade. And then on Thursdays, I'm doing the Fantasy Intervention show with Dave Kluge and Chase Vernon, man. And it's a blast to do. And we kind of go through the games and run them down, but we do a deep analytical dive. Like, we get really, really deep into the numbers. And it's a blast to do. And I'm proud to be a part of that and part of that team.
And I'm proud to be here with you guys. This is our home base. You guys, Chef and Juan have been branching out, and we've been doing this podcast for a very short amount of time. This is our first, season doing it. And watching you guys flourish and jump to different shows and really start to branch out has been amazing. And I'm so happy to be a part of that on the production side and bringing, whatever analysis.
You're doing great work,
genius,
man. You're doing great work.
It is just so much fun. It is so much fun doing this with you guys. The whole drive home today, when I was trying to figure out the keys, I was excited to hop on the pod as a surprise because I don't think y'all think I was going to make it.
And you made it right on time too.
Yeah,
Right for the breaking news.
Right for the breaking news.
I love it. You guys are great. Thank you, everybody who listened and asked questions today. This is why we do it. We do it for y'all.
Indeed.
You guys can find me FF John JAWN Swanson on Twitter. And Chef, take us out, cuz.
All right. I'm James Crease. You can find me on Twitter at FF_Chef. Currently, I am writing for Ball Blast Fantasy Football. Thank you.
Show is.
Yeah, I got picked up by some all-stars. Great team over there. Matthew Betts, Michelle, and Kate Magic. Troy King, my man at Troy King. If you don't follow Troy King on Twitter, you need to. My man just did an interview.
That's the only way, because everybody else is following Troy.
Well, he's also doing the FF Confidential from YouTube too, so you could probably follow him there as well. Great show, by the way, with Lindsay Lyons, or Linda Lyons. I apologize for that.
Linda.
But Troy King just did a great interview with Yahoo Sports, and shout out to him. Shout out to everybody over at Ball Blast doing their thing, put out great content week to week. I just wrote a piece on Dallas Goedert last week for dynasty purposes. And then, like Juan said, I am part of the Fantasy 6-pack on Wednesdays. I usually comes out Tuesday or Wednesdays on YouTube, over at Fantasy Intervention at Join Our Circle on Twitter.
Underscore.
Yeah, have to remember that underscore. Some knitting company has the Join Our Circle, as Chase Vernon always points out. Shout out to all those guys over there at Fantasy Intervention. We are doing our thing, and we are going to accomplish great things with that group. And then I'm always on answering questions on Twitter. Follow me at FF_Chef. Oh man.
What, are you lagging?
No, I'm reading the comment.
Matthew,
you're a funny man. You are a funny man. I'm not going to post that. Don't post that one. We'll talk to Matthew.
Funny, dude. That's funny.
But yeah, check out Ball Blast Fantasy Football. It is actually a great website. They're teamed up with the Dynasty Red Shirts over there, and Matthew Betts, who works for the DFS side of things for the fantasy footballers. So, and most people know who the fantasy footballers are. If you don't, go and check them out. Check out Matthew Betts on Twitter. And follow me at FF_Chef on Twitter. Check out our Facebook page, The Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast. And of course, our website, www.thetiltisreal.com. Because it is definitely real. And the Sunday Tilt is real. Thank you for joining all of us. And we're out. Thank you so much. Peace.
Good luck today.
Go get them.
Thank you for listening to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for weekly articles, breakdowns, and more. Follow us on Twitter at TIR_pod. We'll see you tilters next week.
Stop the tape.
Wait a
Don't put
second.
it away. Hey, we are here. We are
Encore.
here for our listeners.
Absolutely.
And we are going to take one more question from Veron Vedantham. Okay. He says, select two, DJ Moore, Will Fuller, DJ Chark, or T. Higgins for PPR. So I am going with DJ Moore and Will Fuller this week.
Cool. I was going to say the same thing.
Yep, the other two guys have the tough matchups.
Tough matchups, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Thanks for checking us out, Veron, on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, bud. We start at 10 a.m. on Sundays and go all the way to 12.
Matt,
Thanks,
Ball Blast
guys.
you can find on how do we get direct Matt's at Ball Blast? What's the best way to do it?
Ball Blast Fantasy Football on the internet. You can just Google it. It'll come up.
All right, cool.
Yep.
So we're gonna get
All
that
right,
in there.
guys. Thank
Let's
you
try-
again. And we'll hit that outro music one more time. I'm sorry for the quick stop.
One more song.
One more song. One more song.
Good luck,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Thank
You guys are great. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for weekly articles, breakdowns, and more. Follow us on Twitter at TIR_pod. We'll see you tilters next week.